loser on the block.
Get down. Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm not gonna get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informant, that information for me. Important, you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. Cut that game plan. Show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots. Ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never...
Hey everybody, happy Thursday. How y'all doing tonight? You know what it is. It's me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, in the house here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. I hope your week has been good to you. I hope you are feeling fantastic. I hope June is treating you with kindness. And I am just glad to be here. Y'all know Thursday night is my favorite night of the week. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Why? Because I get to spend time with you, and each of you. And I'm so glad that you took the time to come on and share time and space with me here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. The month of June is amazing. We are dedicating it to our men. Salute in the house on tonight. We're going to light up the chat in preparation in honor of last week and in preparation for next week. And our theme for the month is Something Happens When Men Speak. Y'all know that's the Men's Lounge theme that we've created. And we are glad to be here one more time. So good evening. Please like, subscribe, and share. Invite somebody into this amazing conversation. Y'all know how we get down on Thursday nights. It seems at 8:30, if we're still on, something happens and it shifts and it becomes Thursday night with Lady Dawn B after dark. That's a whole other situation in and of itself. But we are glad to be here with you. So again, with that in mind, we just want to remind everyone that while the Bravo with Sheila Network is not a Christian station, we do respect, we honor, and we do take into consideration everyone's thoughts, everyone's feelings, everyone's beliefs, whatever your moral compass is. We just ask that everyone would be respectful as people comment and share. We are not here to attack or to tear down. We are here to have open dialogue in a safe space so that we can have better communication. We have real talk with real resolutions, and we are glad that you decide to spend your time with us. So, as always, we pay homage to our Queen Bee, Pastor Sheila Ingram, who I dubbed her my Auntie Bravo. I thank her always for yielding me this captain's chair to spend this time with you every Thursday night, and it has been amazing. Again, there's no place that I would rather be. So, I'm trying to make sure I got all the announcements out of the way. Oh, if you do want a good word, though, if you do, by chance, if you need a little something, for your day, make sure you go right across the street. You can't miss it. I say it every week. It's right across the street. Literally, you come out of here, you go right out. You can't miss it. Over across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministry channel, where there is great word, with great preachers, great ministers of the gospel over there. They teach, they share, they love one another. We have the Women of Grace who come on Fridays at 11. We have my mother, by birth, literally, she pushed me out, Pastor Rosa, aka Mama Rosa, who's on every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. over across the street. So you can go over there and get a good word. And Pastor Sheila has the kabod. There's worship that goes on. I mean, you want to subscribe to that channel so you don't miss it. And even if you can't be in the midst, the replay is always available. So make sure you catch that. and even on this side of the street. If you miss one of the great programs that go on over here on the Bravo with Sheila Network, we ask that you would please catch the replay. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you share. It helps grow our algorithm and it helps us to push our content out. So we appreciate your support and your cooperation. With that being said, also we do want to continue to congratulate the Bravo Sheila Network, who is now monetized. So you can always leave us a nice little tip to help us grow. That is a major accomplishment, and we are happy for that. We have so many wonderful programs on here and that are still coming. We have Monday nights Beyond the Mic with my network sisters and my Harlem Girls writing group partners. They are on every Monday night, have an amazing conversation and dialogue. So please, again, I promise you, like, subscribe, and share this channel, this network. And for those of you who are up in the expensive seats on today, I'm going to start my hello with y'all today. If you're in the expensive seats, I'm going to invite you to come on down, come on down, come on down to the comment section. Say hello so we can greet you properly like we're about to do. I promise you it's safe. We have security. Nobody's going to get you. I'm on the job, okay? Don't worry. I got you. It's a wonderful place to be. But we want to greet you. We don't want you to stay up there silent. We know you paid an expensive price, but it's all right. Come be a part of this good old conversation. So on tonight, who do we have in the house? Oh, I see we have the number one moderator in all of the nation, the Ine lady, Ine Kenya is in the building. Love you, sis. Thank you so much for continuing to be awesome in what you do and in who you are, or rather in who you are first and then in what you do. Because if you weren't who you are, you couldn't do what you do. So we appreciate that about you. We also have part of the newly formed Team Bloomfield in the person of Lady Zinja is in the house on tonight. Hey, newlywed. Hi, Mrs. Hello, lady hashtag 72 hours. Congratulations. Help us congratulate Brother Gregory Bloomfield and Lady Zinja Bloomfield. They recently got married. I think they were a week in, maybe, I think now. What a wonderful blessing it is. They are my brother, my brethren, and my sister. Gregory has been a guest on here before. He is no stranger to this platform. He is a part of our men's lounge, the honorary member, because he has his own thing going on. But we want to say congratulations to you both. May you have, we're so glad that God let you guys connect. And we are praying that you have many, 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 many wonderful, awesome years of marital bliss, love, and friendship. So, yes, congratulations. And last but not least, I see in the comments, oh, we got a few more people happening in here. All right, Pastor Chris, y'all already know the Psalmist voice. Y'all know it's, you know, I ain't got to say. I dub him the experience and the encounter, and you all know why. And if you don't know, hang in there tonight. You'll find out why, I'm sure. But he is the co-anchor, one of the leads of the men's lounge on Thursday nights. He is saying congratulations to the Bluefields. Let's go. Who else do we have in the house? Oh, Landon Price, 1, 2, 3 here. Okay. Hey, what's good? Glad you could make it on tonight. And we are looking forward to having a great conversation. So before I bring up my guest, because I don't want to delay, I want us to be able to have good conversation, give the space. I'm excited. I am excited. And I'm happy that he is here. I'm happy for this month because we don't get to celebrate our men as we should. A lot of men feel, neglected. They feel unheard. They feel unworthy. They feel devalued. And we have to do something to change that feeling and that narrative. So that's why we decided the entire month of June is going to be dedicated to our men. We want to know how we can help to better serve you, cover you, help you heal, encourage you, push you, and just be a support all around, because you are the leaders. Whatever has happened in culture that may switch things around, but men still need our men need. Some things, ladies, I know we can be strong, but there's some things that our shoulders just were not meant to bear. But we have to pause and make the exchange and switch to put the men, not even so much put them back in their rightful place, because I don't think that they ever left. I think we may have just skipped the line a little bit, just got a little happy skipping the line. So Last week we were on and we were discussing men's emotions, their emotional health. We had Pastor Sheila Ingram who came on and was teaching us about temperaments and helping us to understand how we are wired so that we can understand our men better, so that we can lessen the miscommunication and understand how we're wired so that we can understand how we are connecting to resolve some of our issues that may arise. Because we don't have to keep quitting on each other. We want to grow as we go, right? Right. I know I do. So, on tonight, we're going to continue with our men's health. This month, it is just all about the men. And tonight, our topic is what's behind your beat. And we're talking about the men's heart health. So many men are dying from strokes, from heart attacks, from depression, so many different things, the feeling of hopelessness, so many different avenues of things that show itself in different ways. It surfaces in different ways. Why? Because they are unable to share, to express. There's no safe spaces, and the pressure gets added on, but they are never able to release. And that causes, it's going to come out in some type of way. It'll come out physically, again with their health. It can come out emotionally. If they are very angered, it'll come out in stress. And we want to learn tonight how we can start to defuse and undo some of the damage that has been done. We don't have to do any more damage that's already been done. We want to stop it where it is and start the repair, right? Right. So on tonight, I'm excited about this conversation, and I'm excited about our guest. He is in the person of Pastor Charles Humphrey. He is my brother, pastor friend, our co-author. We connected through our last book that was published. It's my co-author. We doing it. Courage to Win. That's how we roll. It's we squad. So I want to bring him up to the stage and introduce him on today. Present him to some. I'm gonna be real churchy right now, even though we're not church, but I'm gonna be real churchy. I'm gonna present him. But introduce him to some and present him to others. I want to bring up first Pastor Charles Humphrey in the house on tonight. Hey. You like that? You like that?
You came with the real churchy presentation. I'm not worthy of all that, but I receive it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I sure did. I had to do it up. I had to do a little extra. I had a little put, we gonna keep it real talk, but I had to put a little oil on it, just a little bit.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you for having me on the show. This is a blessing, and thank you for what you're doing this month to honor men. As you already know, that sometimes Father's Day is like this, and guys get the tie, and that's it. And it's like, what happened? So appreciate you making extra effort.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that you are here to share in this conversation. Because when I thought of the topic and when it came to me, and I really, again, I told y'all while we are not a Christian network, but y'all know I'm a God's girl. So you're going to get some Jesus every time you see me. Okay. So when this topics come to me with this month and hearing the voices of our men, I really had to think, and I said, God, what is it that we should do? Show me some areas that we can stop and just talk about and just be real. And when he kept showing me the heart, because there's so many things that are in a man's heart, so many unfulfilled dreams that are in your heart that have never surfaced because at whatever point in time, either you were told you could not be that, it was not an option. Could have been when you was a young child and that just stuck with you. So you didn't even bother to try to pursue that, whatever it was that was really making you happy. Some things are still laying dormant. And so, the conditions of your heart, unfulfilled dreams will cause stress. It decreases what you think your value is. And that's where a lot of times it feels like you're not enough. Yep. And so men often feel defeated. And this is, again, just God showed me. And I said, okay. I said, I get it, Lord. I get it. So, but even more so when that happened, I said, God, well, who should we get to special guests? And your name kept coming up. And I think, I shared this with you, that it just kept coming back. And I said, okay, I'm going to reach out to Pastor Chuck, reach out to my brother Pastor and say, hey, can you come and speak? Because you have so many great accolades behind what you do, not just pastoring, but, your missions that you go on. I've seen some things you do. You're an author, your husband, your father. You shared about your men's group, and I want to make sure that we leave time for you to share all of those wonderful things, because you are a resource to so many. But I appreciate you coming on tonight and being a part of this great conversation. I also want to bring up to the stage, before we go further, my co-anchor, head moderator over on the Men's Lounge. Every third Thursday of the month, it is the Men's Lounge night, where the Men's Lounge is just all testosterone. I'm the only estrogen that's there, and they just, they become super toxic, but it's always fire on their night. And I have to be honest, and I say this, I said, I really think the Men's Lounge is like one of my favorite segments. Like, don't tell anybody, because we have the ladies too. But something happens when men speak. Something happens when men speak. So I want to bring up Pastor Chris. He's a ball of fire. I call him the experience and the encounter. And if you have not seen a show with him on it, you will probably understand why before it's over. So without further ado, let's bring up Pastor Chris to be a part of this conversation. Hey, Pastor Chris, how you doing today?
It is on and popping. This show is going to put the icing on the cake to next week's show. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You guys got to join in and watch next week. But I'm excited. God bless you, Pastor Humphrey, for coming on the show. God bless you, sir. And, of course, Lady Dawn B, the distinguished host, and, of course, the Bravo with Sheila Nation. What's good? I'm about to turn up the heat tonight. Okay. Texas is about to get a goodbye. So I'm done.
Well, thank you, Pastor Chris. We're glad you are here with us tonight. So I wanted to start the conversation off, and tonight I just wanted us, we usually have very free-flowing conversation, and I didn't want to push any specific agenda. I just wanted us to flow, because that's one of the things that men don't get to just do, is just flow and just talk about what is on your heart. I want to let me greet a few more people before we jump in there. We got Pastor Rosa in the house, aka Mama Rosa, who is literally my mom. Okay, she pushed me out. I am hers. She is mine. She can't get rid of me no matter how she tries. She's stuck with me for life. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. Hi, Mom. How are you? Thank you for joining us on tonight. We also have Corey Tyler, the music maker, in the house. He says blessings. And then he says, Brother Chris, let's go. All right. We know who he came here with. Okay. So we already know it's going down. But we are glad to have you in the building, Brother Corey. And again, like, subscribe, and share. Get some people into this conversation, not just the men, but women. We need to be in spaces like this. But we need to lean in. There you go, Pastor. We got to lean in and listen. This is not a time. The month of June is not for us to be in our emotions. And every time a man says something about what they're feeling, we pop off with, well, what about the men? And well, what about them? No, it's not a what about them. This is us leaning in, listening, not leading with our emotions, but just hearing our men out so that we can find out what they need. So, Pastor Chuck, I want to kind of start with, I shared a statement that says, because old school back in the day, it says the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So that's what they said. That's what they said, and I get it. Back in the day, we may not have had, Auntie Bravo's in the building. I'm sorry, y'all. I got excited. I'm always happy when she shows up. Hey, Auntie Bravo, salute to you. The Queen Bee of Bravo Nation is in the house. She said, blessings, everyone. And we are glad she is here popping on. But that saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. It may have been true in those years, but it is far from true now. I think that down the line, because it gave women the misconception that all we had to do is be able to cook a good meal and have to keep coming back. That's right. Keep your house clean and keep a man coming back. That's the way you get to his heart. No, that's the way you feed his stomach. Right. So I kind of wanted to start there with that saying, with that myth. What does that say to you? Do you feel it's true, untrue? How does that relate to where we are today?
Yeah, good question. And thank you for the question. I'll give you a little story of my background. I married my wife 35 years ago. We were both college students, and I was 6 foot tall and 145 pounds, very skinny. And she came from the Bay Area, and she'll tell you this story that she felt sorry for me, and she's a good cook. So she was cooking for my roommate and I as we were college students, starving students as it were. And even though that wasn't what won me over, that was definitely a factor in the situation. However, when I think about the statement that you made, which is a time-worn statement about a way to man's heart is through his stomach, I'd like to kind of rephrase it and say the way to a man's heart is to understand what he's hungry for, right? His appetite. We all have appetites for all kinds of things.
Okay,
So
I gotta write that down. Okay, write that down.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm turning my page here.
So one of the things that won me over with her, she met me at a place where I was hungry for relationship, hungry for authenticity, hungry for the realness of her life story. And my wife is a servant, and she's like you, she's a busy bee. But at the time in college, I saw she was a real legit, if I can use the term, a ride or die, right? Ride or die sister, loved the Lord, had a good word, but had a heart for people. And that appealed to me more than anything else. So I look across the landscape of women these days, and unfortunately, women have thought that if you show enough skin and shake that thing,
come on.
Y'all know that'll get a man's attention. It won't get his heart. It won't get his heart. It'll get his eyes on you for a moment, but it won't get his heart. So I believe it's the character, and to be able to touch a man in the deepest parts of his life, that can make the difference. So yeah, that's a great statement. I hadn't thought about that until you said, like, how did she get me?
Well, at 6 feet and 145 pounds, like you said, she felt bad for you, but you found out that it may not have gotten to your heart, but it got her in the door. It got her in the door. For sure. You remember her meal.
Yes.
That's cool. I love that. Pastor Chris, you want to comment? You want to share? What would you like to say, sir?
I have to agree with Pastor Humphrey. I have to. Just because you know how to twerk it, if you work it, if you flip it, and reverse it. Okay, again, that gives us the attention.
Yeah.
But honestly, ladies,
come on,
it's here and here that keeps us. I don't care how ghetto the guy is. I don't care how intellectual the guy is. We work very simple. The world has created a narrative for you to believe that we just got to be this type of man so y'all can be the ride or die chick, right? Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to preach because this ain't because we got two pastors on here and he already set me up. So I'm trying not to preach. I'm keeping my Shonday low right now. I'm going to say this. I've learned in my own life, I don't care how thick you are. I don't care how great you look. I don't care if you got all the boom, bam, pow, thank you, man. If you can't talk to me, and if I don't feel needed, not in the sense of material things, and this is what the world has said, I got to bring the paycheck to get your attention, but that's not the truth, because you can get your own money, boo-boo.
Right.
You can make your own 6 figures. You can get your own house, your own car. The song says the whole thing. Y'all know what it is. I don't even got to repeat it. But like I said, it does not make a difference. Y'all can do all that on your own. But the same battle cry I've been hearing, Pastor, is the fact that women want to be needed, not wanted. It's a difference. We got a lot of women that are wanted because they got the body and they got the enhancements and all that stuff going on, but that gets old.
Yes.
Because if you are a man transitioning from trying to be the player and all this other stuff, I've been there, done that. But that doesn't keep you. It doesn't. So when you grow up and evolve as a real man, you realize that the dumb nonsense you did when you were young is not going to work when you get older. It's not. Right. It might work for the young cats now because they don't care. As long as you give them some couple $100, they good. but they're not about, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be bashing at all, but y'all know me. I'm gonna tell it like it is.
It's
But
okay. We know how you get down.
But the fact of the matter is, all I'm saying is, and I'm gonna cut it because I know we got a lot of show. All I'm saying is, ladies, I don't care. A man doesn't care how much you make.
Right.
I'm being honest. A man does not care about that. He doesn't care the car you drive. He don't care if you got 2 poodles. He don't care if you got a pool. He don't care if you got 2 businesses, on one in LA, one in Atlanta. We don't care about that. Honestly, we don't, because we can do that. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, the cry is here. When you have a man in your life that's giving you that, stop shutting the door, slamming the door in his face. Mm. That's all I got to say. It's Men's Month, so I'm going to keep it real. And I'm going to drop the bomb on that one. I'm done.
Keep it real. Can I follow up something he said that made me think about?
Chris. You can follow anything you want. You can follow, you can lead, you can do whatever. You the special guest tonight. The time is yours, sir. We can't hear from you.
We're gonna have some baton passes now. I can tell. Okay, so
the baton talking, yes.
And I've heard men say this online and social media a whole lot, and I tend to agree with what you said, that men don't care per se how many degrees, how much money you make, how you've got to pop in 5 businesses. That's wonderful, but we care about who you are, right? And so I wrote this book, my first book I wrote in 2018 called Hold On to Your Ass, was about men being responsible, accountable, faithful, and transparent. And I talk about how a brother can go into McDonald's and see the girl working the fries, say, ooh, she sure is fine. I want her number. I want to talk to her. She working the fries. She's working the fries. Menial job, but if she's cute, once again, she get our attention, right? You have a guy go working at McDonald's working the fries. The girl says, "Oh, I can't talk to him. He's too low." right. You know I'm talking, right? He left the shit. The brother can't be working fries and get your attention. She wants him to make it rain. She wants him to pop bottles. She wants him to have all the nice car, the nice clothes, the swag, the green eyes, the nice hair, all that stuff. So men, as he said, we're pretty simple. All the things that women think we want, a lot of that's missing the mark, you know. So I've seen some beautiful women in low-end jobs, high-end jobs. And for me, and just for me, if I see attitude, it's like, it's a deal breaker. If I see cussing and fussing and being loud and bossy, that's a deal breaker. And I've heard guys say this, I never said it myself, but guys would say that I want someone to bring me peace. And we know as believers, only God can really give us peace, but you want a peaceful environment. You don't want to fight the world and fight her at home, you know? So if she's got on her combat gear and she's got on her hard hat and she's got on her pinstripes and her briefcase and coming home trying to call shots, like, that's more work for me. I don't need more work. So once again, men go for different things. And I think society and the narrative has told women that men value. They might value that, but we don't value it the same way. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Ask another question.
No, that's good stuff. I want to read some comments too. Landon Price says, in addition to what you both said, he says, and get in that kitchen together. The two of you together. He said, touch, stomach, brain, mind, heart. You do it all together, Yeah. And that creates balance. Those are dynamics that, are important in any relationship, and it's okay. And I'm going to say this. And again, I'm always saying something that usually will, women try to kick me out of the women's club, but you can't, because my membership is for life. So I'll just say what I got to say. I just said, women, it's okay. We got to get back to a place where we understand it's okay to serve your man. There is honor in serving your man. It's all right. You don't have to.
I'm touching my pearls.
I said it. Say what I said. Listen, it has to be said. When you're talking about getting in the kitchen together, I understand you had a long day. I know we have 10,000 things to do, but we are created to be a help that's suitable to whomever. Now, you may not do it for everybody, but do it for your man. And I find that when you're with who you're supposed to be with, you don't even mind. It comes natural to you. Yes, I was watching this video today of this guy who can pick up a girl for a first date, and he opened the door for her from the inside of the car. and she closed it back and said, I want you to open the door for me.
Yeah.
You know, and they went back and forth with this debate about opening the door. And he's like, well, come on, I did open the door for you. So he did it again. And she's still closing it and talking about, no, I want you to open the door. Like, get out the car and come open the door. The end of it was he did get out eventually. He was irritated, opened the door for her, let her get in. They had some more words. And then he told her, you know what, just come out. Just come out the car. And he said he ain't going on a date with her. He said because he felt that she was ungrateful and had attitude and all this other stuff. You know, and he was saying that it was, you know, on principle, like he, you know, and they were like, who's right and who's wrong? And I said, well, he's wrong to a degree because as a gentleman, I'm saying just as a gentleman, if that's what you want, and this is where it comes together. As a woman, if you know that the kind of man you want is a gentleman, you want a gentleman, someone who's going to open doors for you, and you're out with someone who does not instinctively do those things, then he's not the one for you. Because when a man gets with the woman that is for him, he will automatically open a door. He will automatically, you know, do the thing. Tell me if I'm lying.
No.
Am I lying? Am I telling the truth? It's not something you even have to ask him to do. He would not forget, you know. And there's nothing wrong with either one of them deciding what they wanted. But stick to your convictions and respect the opposite choice. If I have to ask you to open the door, unless it's just like, babe, can you open the door, you know, because you're busy, whatever. But on the first date, and I said, sis, why are you standing there arguing with him? He's not for you. You know,
that should be your sign that this thing might not go too well. I want to restore this idea on both sides, male and female. What happened to common courtesy, right? Just being a courteous person, kind, open the door, you know, you go first, give deference. How about that? Deference, right? Those things that everybody's acting as if, and I think somebody said something about relationships being very transactional these days. If you do this, I'll do this. But if you don't do this, I won't do that. Like, no, I won't be feminine if you're not masculine. I won't be, you know, that's crazy. Who are you? And this goes back to foundational identity. Who are you in a dating situation, in a family situation, in a relationship situation, that you cannot be courteous and kind, say something kind, offer a seat, or whatever it is, you know, as a woman, if you're more gifted and skilled in cooking, then offer a snack, whatever. So those things are crazy, basic to me. I'll say this, and you kind of touched on it. My wife is an amazing cook, does soul food great. She can be angry with me. I mean, up to angry up here. And she'll still serve me.
Yeah.
Because that's who she is. That's just who she is. I can be mad at her. I'm not gonna tear up the house and destroy her stuff because we got to live together, y'all. This is for the long.
We got to make us work now.
we all we got, and that's our thing. That's our story. We all we got. we got to be on the same team, you know. So I can be mad, she can be mad. We still do the functional things that serve the household and serve each other. And maybe we're from a different cut of cloth a few years ago, but to me, these kids and these young folks these days in this dating scene, it's this idea of I won't do but so much unless you prove to me that you're going to reciprocate or do more than I'm going to give you. And it just drives me crazy. I think it's a losing battle. It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. And you know, the thing also is, when you see, again, you know, when you see, I got you, Pastor Chris. I see you. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. Landon says, you know, Dag, you know, he did that on the first date. Good call, Sister Deuces. It's just a way that you handle things, you know, because that action in and of itself shows, again, what's in his heart. Yeah. What is in his heart concerning you? You know, even if you weren't on a date, just as a friend, if it was your sister or your mother or your grandmother, you know, it speaks to the gentleman in you. And the fact that you're standing here debating, to me, that's too much energy, bro. I ain't got that. If I don't, you show me how, I don't. I can't. I'm not built like that. I'm quick. You know, I'll make a decision real quick and I'll keep it pushing. I'll be respectful. You could have still went out with him. I will ask you twice and then maybe once, and maybe not even that. If I just see you didn't do it, it just says who you, because I want you to be you. Yeah. Don't start opening the door for me and that's not who you are, because eventually you're going to go to your factory default and I'm going to be like, well, You used to open the door for me, you know, and he'd be like, well, I did that because we was dating. I was like, oh, it wasn't because that's who you are. You know, it was on that condition. And these are the things that you have to, you know, watch out for. Zen just says that part, Dawn, I would have went back in the house. But again, this is a part of what's behind a man's heartbeat. Yeah. Are you the woman that makes him want to? Because there is a woman that will make a man want to get to the door before you. Girl, if you pick up that bag, we're going to have a problem. A whole different kind of problem. Ma'am, if you don't walk on the inside of me, there's going to be a whole nother situation. Yeah. You know, not just, oh, okay, well, hurry up and cross at the light. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a woman, I'm sure every man can agree, that will pull that out of you instinctively.
Yes.
Because that's how you want to cover her. That's how you feel about her. You don't ever want her to feel anything but you covering her. And ladies, if you are not that woman, if that's what matters to you and you are not that woman, that's not something that you should have to teach. You got to be mindful. And if it is, think about, is it something that I can live without? Is it really a priority in relationship or not? I'm gonna get to you have a comment. I want to read a few comments. I'm sorry, you know, I live up in the mountains, so my reception gets a little, it won't let me be great sometimes. So Hijada, thank you for joining tonight. My sister, the newly appointed Elder Reverend Taryn Thomas. We all got our day the other week. So, you know, we write Reverend in it together. That's my sister. She is in the house tonight. Thank you for joining, Taryn. I appreciate you. Hijada says women look for a provider. Men look for someone who makes them look well, physical attributes. Now, I will say there is some truth to that. We'll say, as Pastor Chris says, some, not all. So we don't have to, you know, everyone is entitled to their feelings, their opinions, and their thoughts. And we respect that because we're all speaking from our space of experience. So yes, there are some men who do look for that arm piece. That's all they want. But if that's you, you have to understand that's all you're going to get. Because you're not looking for her to be intelligent. You're not looking for her to help you grow. You're not again, what's in your heart? What's making it beat? If seeing a beautiful body and, you know, Jessica Rabbit and, you know, chocolate Jessica, whatever you want to call it, if that's what's making your heart beat and you go for that, you can have a pretty package, but it's an empty box.
Right.
You don't get just that. And women, if you're looking for a man to just provide, you're going to get just that. Yeah, he can provide a house. He can provide a car. He can pay every bill. He can make sure that you have transportation. But can he provide for your heart? Can he provide for your spirit? Is he covering you? Does he grow your emotions? Is he doing that? So when we talk about provision, providing what? Define what is provided for you. Because we all need something. Taryn says, this is good so far. I'm telling you, it's really good. Taryn says, if it cost me my peace, getting back to Pastor Chuck, when you were talking about men, you're hearing the men talk about how they just want someone, you know, they want peace. They want a woman who will bring them peace, not trauma and drama. She says, if it costs my peace, it's too expensive. Absolutely. And yes, ma'am, amen. Anything that costs you a piece, male, female, cat, dog, whatever it is, goldfish, snail, if it costs you your piece, it's too expensive. Put it all out. Yeah. I'm just saying. And then we have Minister Donald Brathwaite. He is who I call 204. He is my big brother, literally my brother by blood, same mother and father. He is a part of the men's lounge on today. I don't know why he's where he's at, but it's okay. He can be in the comment sections. He is 204. I am 404. I'm the last one of the group. I'm the baby of the family. So hi, big brother. Thank you for joining on tonight and being in the house. If you want to come up, if you have time, you want to pop on the platform, come on, bro. We want to hear from you this month. Is about y'all, about the men folk. Pastor Chris, let me let you in real quick before I get to the next question and point for Pastor Chuck, because I don't want you to explode.
No. Look. I'm about to blow it up real quick. Men have shoulders for a reason, right? That's what y'all love. Y'all like the shoulders, right? Now there is a.
I like shoulders. Everybody might not like shoulders. I'm partial to shoulders. I'm just saying.
I mean, we are automatically built this way. Now, I can speak to through different generations because I'm in between, right? I can speak on this mentality of I'm not going to open the door for you. I'm going to open it when I get in the car mentality, right? I've done that. I have. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I have. Now, there is also, when I said earlier, there's a such thing as growing, right? There's also a function that's in all of our phones, our iPads, or if you have Android, it's the same thing. It's called factory reset. Pastor, that might be another book for you because I just gave you a book idea. So I ain't gonna charge it to you. Just give me a little cameo. Just give me a little cameo.
You're down.
Yeah. Shout out to the psalmist voice. But yeah, it's called factory reset, right? Now, when you do a factory reset, what happens? Everything on your phone is deleted, correct? Or in the Apple world, it goes into a cloud, right? Now, I'm saying all this to say this. When men get to a certain age, not some, not all, some have a factory reset in their life. We are all taught, whether you were raised in a single parent home or not, there was always one figure in every man's life that taught him how to be a gentleman. We've never forgot that. Men, we record everything. We don't forget that. But we allow the society and the spaces that we're in to create a narrative of who we are, but that's not who we are here. But we have to project this so I can get the cookie, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the family show.
Real talk. Real talk.
Yeah, but I'm being real. So we're projecting imagery of, like I like to say, my alter ego is called Tyrone, right? Like to go through the window and smash, right? Okay, that's a sidebar thing. Anyway, let me stop. Anyway, but everybody has a Tyrone. Every man has a Tyrone. They might have, beyond the eloquent speech, beyond the how we articulate our words. Everybody has a Tyrone. Every brother. Okay, no offense to anybody else that's watching this program that's not of African American descent. I'm not being disrespectful, but hear me out. We come through a transition. Factory reset is imperative to us men. A lot of us don't do it. We, 60 years old, still trying to be a pimp and a player. What? That makes no sense. And then you have women in the middle that are maybe in their 50s, 45, 50, 55, whatever. They single, right? I'm 65 years old and I'm trying to be a man. What happened? Because they never hit the factory reset button. They know how to be a gentleman. They were taught that from the old school. See, I was taught from the old school. Like, you got to open the door for the lady. If it's raining, you better make sure you lift them up off the car. I mean, it all depends because, women nowadays, y'all come in all shapes and sizes. So, so anyway, but still make the effort to try to lift your lady to the other side. If it's raining real bad, you can stand in the puddle and let the rain rush down your gator shoes. That's what the gator shoes were made for. Or, get the umbrella. Those are little things, gentlemen. And I'm giving you just a little, that's old school, Pop. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. I don't care how fuck dizzle your boo is. Every girl used to play with Barbie and Ken. Mm-hmm. Every girl. And they knew how to play house, right? They also knew how to make their men be gentlemen, right? This is before the hip hop movement and all this other stuff, right? So we become this narrative, and when we meet false narrative, and none of us gave a factory reset in our lives, and we're both over 40.
What's going on?
And we still trying to recreate the Boondocks. I'm just saying. Anyway, let me be quiet because this ain't my show. Pastor Humphrey's time to shine. I just wanted to add a little bit of tidbits into this because, I mean, again, and I know people won't get upset. And I wanted to also comment on the sister that said women look for providers. You said something key, Lady Dawn, in regards to what is your provider or who is your provider. right? Now, every man can't give you $1 million.
Right.
Every man can't give you 6 figures. But what does it matter to you? What's the providing need for you? Because money changes every day. We see it every day. We just turn the news on. The American dollar don't mean nothing anymore. So I can make 6 figures, or 12 figures, 100 figures. It don't mean nothing. But anyway, let me be quiet. Okay, let me be quiet. Okay, I'm done.
You made the no. Thank you for your shares. They're always good. But it's the whole point of, yes, you know, you have to look at both sides of the coin, and that's the thing about having this space and having open, honest discussions. We touch on the things that nobody wants to talk about. We have to touch on the sensitive stuff, because otherwise we will continue in this cycle. You can't break the cycle till you address what's causing the cycle, until you find out what the breach is, and then you got to fix it and repair it. And so, yeah, when it comes to providing, we do all look, you know, women look for certain things, and men look for certain things, and women, that's normal. You know, and again, women, you have to figure out what your provider looks like. What is it that you need him to provide? I have, you know, my best friend is in the house. Hey, T. Brian, she's in the building. That's my best friend, Bestie. She's going to be my roommate in heaven. We already asked God. He said yes. Mm-hmm. He said yes. He said yes.
Why is he saying boo?
Because he's hating on her because she hung up on him. That's right. He ain't recovered yet.
No, y'all got history back in here. Okay, I see.
we got stuff going on. It's one big happy family. But you know, what she needs as a provider is different for what I need as a provider. Yes. Why? Because I'm built different. My assignment is different. My capacity is different. You know, how I need what I need is different. You know, and so we can't compare, and that's what happens to a lot of women, and we miss it. And we can get with a man who is doing his level best and then some in providing and being that from his heart. Again, because we're talking about giving in line. All this is still in line with what's behind a man's heartbeat. And he is doing his best to give you what he has, to make sure that you are covered and cared for and provided for. But because it's not what sister across the street has, right, we don't appreciate it sometimes. And that will rip at a man's heart and make him feel devalued, and that I cannot be a good provider because I can't give my wife what she wants. Okay, but is it reasonable? Are you reasonably asking for something? Are you willing to wait? Men have, you know, I used to hear, I don't know if men say it still now, but you know, if you want something, and men would be honest with us and say, I can't do that for you right now. Mm-hmm. It's not that I can't do it. You might want to go on this grand vacation. Mm-hmm. I can take you in 6 months. I can't take you in 2.
Right.
And we as women, we don't hear the wait. I'm going to get it for you. Mm. We hear, I can't have it now.
Yeah, no.
And that affects, you know, that communication, it affects, then now your heart is discouraged as a man. Mm. Now you hurt because now you're receiving what she said, and by her response, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're receiving it as she doesn't believe that I can do it.
Right.
And then that puts disappointment and other weight on your shoulders. I want to read another comment real quick, and then I want to give you more space. I hope y'all are liking, enjoying, and subscribing to this great conversation. We have my brother, friend, Pastor Charles Humphrey in the house tonight, talking about men's heart health, what's behind your beat. We want to talk about the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, the natural, all of that. And he's going to share. I'm telling you, he's awesome. He has so many wonderful things going on. And Nate Kenya says, sometimes you may have to show someone that you would like something differently from what they're used to giving. Mm-hmm. And that's true too. I think that's true. Mm-hmm. I think that you have to said, talk about it, sir. To telling you, talk about it. I'm sorry. And then she told Chris he's a hater. That's a personal fight.
Personal.
Right. We ain't gonna talk about that today. They talk about what's in their heart. We see what's in their heart now. But that's true. I think that you have to, from my perspective, and I want Pastor Chuck to share from his perspective, and what Lady Ine was saying about you have to let someone know or show you that you want something differently from what they're used to giving. I think that's great, but you also have to keep in mind when you put people in that position, they may not be able to give you something that they're not used to giving because they may not have it in them to give,
Right.
you know, and in that way. So we also have to be open not to hold people hostage to what we would like for them to do differently. Does that make sense? Jump in, Pastor Chuck.
Yeah. I think a couple things came to mind. One is we call it home training. Some people have limited home training. Maybe you weren't in a situation where your father showed you how to be chivalrous or to cover or protect a woman or to fight for your little sister or whatever, those types of things. I get that. So in the case, going back to your example with the car situation, the door, yeah, that's not the time to have a full-blown argument. The date's over, right? But maybe he just needs to be encouraged. Hey, I would appreciate it if you open the door for me. He's like, why would I want to do that?
Right.
He said, well, I believe a gentleman should do these things. Now he has to be open to want to learn and grow. So I do have space for giving people room to grow into certain areas. And any relationship evolves, right? We think, and unfortunately, the way that things are portrayed in social media and online and on podcasts, you got this ready-made man and this ready-made woman who gonna meet all your needs when you meet it. That ain't reality. We all grow at different paces, at different rates, and for different reasons. Some of us are thrust in situations where you have to grow. I've heard men oftentimes say, who maybe didn't want to have kids, once they had a kid, they're like, oh man, it changed my life. And they begin to be responsible and responsive and in tune. And they focus on the kid and they were the best dad and doting on their kid because that life event changed their mentality and their outlook. Before that, you would have never thought this cat would have been good with kids. So I'll give my wife's story. We were married for 13 years before we had children. She had several miscarriages, but we never envisioned having kids. And if we were going to have a kid, my wife was a tomboy. She played basketball. She was great with the jump shot and everything. In her mind, I want to have a boy because I can relate to boys better. Well, God bless us with two amazing daughters. My wife will confess to you that she didn't know how to do no hair. She wasn't that chick. She wasn't doing braids or plaits or all those things and frilly socks and lace dresses. That wasn't her. So, but God changed both of us in that process. Two amazing daughters. One just graduated from Howard University. One's a dancer. So, God be having tricks. God does tricks, right? God, he does jokes, right? And so we had a boy name and everything picked out. And God, like, I got you, boy. But listen, and as you know this as well, we learned so much about how to do ministry by ministering to our daughters, having our own kids, right? So God layered everything in such a way that neither one of us could see beyond our single lives or our married lives without kids, even in ministry. So now he's brought so many things into our lives that we never expected because God just moves like that. So I like to give people room to grow. And unfortunately, the narratives you hear on social media, he has to be 6 foot tall, 6-pack, 6 figures, good FICO score, green eyes, never.
Come on.
You ladies, y'all got a list that's so long sometimes.
I don't have that.
Yeah, he has to be tough but gentle. He has to be worldly wise but spiritual. Which is it? You want all these things wrapped in one. Can a brother get a chance to grow and evolve? How about this? Most men don't reach their peak earning years until after 30 years old, maybe 35, right? So you get out of college. If you're an entrepreneur, if you are just graduating, you got a low-wage job or minimum wage job, you're not going to buy a house at age 25 in most cases. You have to be an exceptional young man to be buying property, especially here in Los Angeles. I can't hardly buy property in Los Angeles, but you have to be exceptionally doing big things with your money and wise with your money. And not being a consumer, but a strategic saver, investor, et cetera, to make moves in the financial realm, stocks and bonds, property acquisitions, all those things. That don't happen at age 20 or 22 or 23. And so when ladies say, I want the man who has all these things together, they're really kind of painting a picture of a future dream that does take time to move into. Back in your day, in my day, maybe I don't know if it's pastor's day, there's a thing called layaway, right? Right?
Yeah,
Back,
come on, talk about the layaway now.
can we talk about deferred gratification? That there's some things that are worth the wait. And the way if you're trying to keep up with the Kardashians and all these different things, you want it right now and you want gold plated right now. That's not reality for most of us. It is not reality. So there's a place of giving people room to grow. And there's also a place of capacity. And I'll say this, and it goes back to father issues, parental issues. Our parents did not have the knowledge we have. We have so much more information available to us about counseling, about therapy, about how to move, and psychological safety and emotional intelligence. Our parents weren't talking about that. They were talking about going to the work and getting the job done and making a living wage. They didn't care about emotional safety and emotional intelligence. That wasn't in their mind. So I like to say to my men, your fathers didn't have the capacity to do the things for you that you have the capacity to do for your kids. And my kids know way more about all kinds of things than I ever imagined because there's so much information out there. So you have to give people room to grow and recognize what's their capacity. You just have to. So I'll stop right there because, yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. Listen, my father used to tell us, put your feelings in your pockets and go do what you got to do anyway. That's what he tells us. So that whole social, emotional intelligence, that I'm glad you how you feel. And you put it in your pocket if it's gonna interfere with you doing what I said do. He's from the island, so he just they ain't play that. He wasn't having it. Just like I see how you feel. I see it. I see your feelings. I see them. I see that. See on there on your arm. That's your feeling right there. Now go take it and do what I said do. Yeah.
Still do the task.
Still do right. You focus on the wrong thing. Right.
Wash the dishes. Clean the room up. All your
they care nothing about it. They be frustrated while you wash them dishes, So, but it's true, the way culture and time has changed, and this is a thing that and again, we're still on topic. It's all about what's behind what makes a man's heart beat, because these are the root of things that spark how we act and how we react and how we connect with one another. I want to touch on something you said, and then I want to read some comments, and then I have a question. I got a lot. I know that was a lot at the same time, right? I know. It's what I do. It's what you do when you host. It's what you do. You got it all. I got it all. Multitasking. So again, everybody, I hope you are enjoying this conversation. I'm not fooling with you today, Pastor. I hope you're liking this conversation. Please like, subscribe, and share. I love the comments that are going on. We are going to get to each and every one of them, so keep them coming. Like, subscribe, and share. Get someone else in this good conversation. Here we believe on sharing information, content, and again, we are not experts. Some of us are degreed in our spaces. We are all three of us. We are in ministry, so we do have that as our background and our caring and our experience. However, we are just here to have real talk for real resolutions, because that's something that we don't do. You made the point of how one point of how social media, we see everything in the instant right now. Right. And we think that that's where we're supposed to begin. It's like with anybody that you meet, you meet them at the chapter of their life that you enter.
Yes.
You don't meet them at the beginning. I find a lot of women sometimes feel that we are entitled to whatever a man has at this level, which creates an issue, because sis, you were not there when he didn't even have a chapter 1, when he just had an outline, or maybe sometimes he just had the title or a thought. He didn't even have a paper and pen to put the thought down, so he had to keep it in his mind, And so we have to, as women, be mindful that when we do enter into a man's life that is at that level of success, whatever that is for him, because I find that, and I love this saying, that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
When we are comparing, don't compare. Whatever his success is his. Don't compare it to somebody else's. But whatever his level of success is, and you walk into his life, don't feel entitled to be there. And for him, he did not work as hard as he did to get there to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
He worked as hard as he did to get there to satisfy him. Yep. And he happened to meet you. We got to start picking up the right lessons in these things. Poor Pastor Chris is spinning. We gotta learn how to build with our men. We gotta, I mean, I'm girly and I have long nails and all that too, and I love to get dressed up, but you know what? I love my sneakers, my jeans, my hoodies, my ponytails. I love all of that. I don't mind to work. I'd rather work and grind with you from the ground up so that it's something that we built together.
Yes.
What you come with, even if you come there already, whatever you bring with you when you come, for me, and this is just Dawn 101, it's just me, so I do. I'm gonna make sure that we increase that. Yep. And I say we because now I'm invested in you. Yep. And it's what can I do to help to boost your dream, get you where you need to be? What is it? And not do it because I want something back from you. What I want back from you is to see you win and grow.
Yes, yes.
Because when I see you happy, feeling content in where you're at, and y'all don't mind my screen, my camera is doing its own thing. I'm still here. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get onto my other device. I'm just saying. But when we are doing what we need to do within the lives of our men, when we come and we support you in the way that we need to, then it makes everything better for our men. But we have to be willing to put down that feeling of entitlement and to pick up what we need to support you, because it can do damage or it can push you further to where you need to be. I'm sorry, my screen, it made me angry just now, so I lost my thought. So I'm gonna go to some comments for a second. I'm still here. I hope it clears up itself in a minute. Hajada was saying, and this is in reference to Pastor Chris's response, and again, this is conversation. She said, I was just speaking from a general stance, just from my observation. I'm looking for a healthy partnership. And that's wonderful, Hajada, because that's what matters at the end of the day. No two relationships look alike. Yep. You have to do what's in yours. And we are all speaking from our space of experience. We're gleaning from each other, and we appreciate you sharing. And this is, again, it's a safe space to share. So please continue to do so. She also says, my provider is not from the world stance, but from a spiritual point of view. Amen. I also know I cannot get everything from one man. There will be things I have to sacrifice and compromise, and I get it. And that's true. There are, some things we can live with, some things we can live without, some things we can manage, some things that we can't. But we have to know what those are, really what we can handle, what we need to let go of, what's not so much of a big deal. And whatever you are requiring for someone, I feel as women, we should be willing to work for it. Our job should not end. This is something I tell my son all the time. Your job doesn't end with a want. Your part doesn't end with just you saying, I want, We can express what we want, but we have to be willing to put something in the pot also to make it work. My bestie says it only works when God is in it. You're on the struggle bus any other way. Now that's true. And sometimes we are on the struggle bus with each other. But the beauty in that is we on the struggle bus together. It's not misery loves company. It's, bro, we getting out of this. We ain't staying here. When we both pushing the bus, we gonna go further. Yep. Let's see what else. Jenny. Hey, Auntie Jenny. She is, y'all say hi to my Auntie Jeannie. She is one of the ladies and the woman of grace. I told you that's right across the street on the Sheila Ingram channel. She says, good evening from Hartford, Connecticut. She is my auntie gangster. That's what I call her. She's in the house on tonight. That's right. You didn't know it was this bad, did you, Pastor Chuck? Yep.
It's a whole new family.
That's right. That's right. So you and Lady Audrey, y'all in it now. And you ain't getting out. Lady Deshawn Bill, she is the wife. She is part of our women's room, our ladies' room, which we come on every first Thursday of the month. And we do the same thing like we do at the men's lounge. We talk all things women. We keep it real and raw over there, 1000%. She is married to who I call Pastor Chris's toxic twin, Pastor Linwood, who is a part of the men's lounge. Pastor Chuck, you got to come on one of the men's lounge nights. You have to, because you got to. It's insane. We gonna get you on there. Deshaun says exactly. T. Bryan says women are natural reproducers. Yeah. Women are natural reproducers. Whatever you put in our hands is going to multiply. You're welcome. And I would say that is true. It's a part of what we are built to do. Unfortunately, not all women do it. Not all women grow that. Not all women do what they need to in that space. You know, we may know the math, but we don't always make it make sense, you know, and that's the key. So we got to get better with that. Welcome, Karen, Lady Karen, Minister Karen. I'm so glad you're here tonight. She's Blessing Evangelist Dawn and my other crazy sister, Michelle, and YouTube. I didn't see Michelle, but hey, Michelle, if you're in the audience or wherever you might be. Karen also says, hey, my beloved brother at Pastor Chris. I didn't see you at first. Blessings. Amen. So we caught up on our comments. I do want to say you made a good point in the beginning. I want to kind of go back to this for a second because I was still talking about men's heart health. And I want to put this out there. And then I want to give you space to share because you had some interesting facts. You shared a video clip earlier today on the show and what we'll be talking about. And I want to make sure that you have space to share the dynamics that you were sharing there because it's so important. And again, ladies, I want you to lean in and grab this information because these little things are things that we have to start taking into consideration to help lessen the stress on our men emotionally, physically, financially, and socially. But you made the point in the beginning when I talked about the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Mm-hmm. And you said the real thing is, what is he hungry for? Mm-hmm. That was so it stuck me in the side. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the question. We miss that quite often. And so because men don't usually get the space to speak, I just want to kind of ask, we're trying to find the best way to formulate my question. Yeah. In finding out what a man is hungry for, on one hand, I want to say, what does that look like from your side? Like, how does a woman, we have to get you into a space of trust because men, y'all don't just openly share. So how can I find out what you're hungry for and then figure out, because until I know what you're hungry for, I can't give it to you.
Correct.
Am I making sense?
You totally make this.
Where I'm going? Okay.
Yeah. So listen,
now, I'm still here. I'm just going to try to fix my camera a little bit. So keep talking.
Yeah. I love your color. I love your color. I'll say this, and I think you made reference to this in a previous broadcast on this channel. So oftentimes women are talking, and not really hearing what men are saying. And men don't always come out blatantly and say, I need X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. Sometimes their actions will show what they want. Sometimes they'll infer some things. And sometimes they'll just operate a certain way. And if you observe men, how they operate, you will begin to pick up the pieces and the keys of what they're hungry for. Or what, I'd say this, what drives them, what motivates them, what moves them. So oftentimes in relationships, and this is not even a relationship issue, but just recognizing when men are motivated by, moved by. Some men want to make the money, want to chase the bag. That's conquering something. Some men want to be excellent in their jobs, whether it's doing statistics or accounting or being a doctor. They're still accomplishing something. Men have a need to accomplish something. You said it the other way. I want people to win. Men need to feel like they're winning somewhere. I need to feel like I'm conquering something, winning something, overcoming something, and that sense of fulfillment of I'm doing something positive. This is one of the reasons why men typically don't just go window shopping just to go window shopping. Women could window shop all day long. Look at a dress, look at that, look, touch the clothes, don't buy a thing. I ain't doing that. I want to go and get something and come back home. I want to get something that I need for me that's going to serve a purpose in my life. Otherwise, I would not be in the mall all day. And if you look at the statistics, women consume far more than men do in shopping malls. The makeup counter, the clothes, the handbags. Women are consuming way more than men do in general. And so there's more market for women to buy things and even just to shop in general. Guys usually have a singular purpose. I'm going to give me a blue pair of slacks to match my black shoes for the event I'm going to next week. Simple, right? Very simple. Like you said earlier, it's really simple. And so men want to have a sense of accomplishment. Other thing men want to do is men want to understand purpose. So I can say, hey guys, let's get together. The first thing I'll say is why. if I talk to Pastor Chris here and say, man, let's get together, he's like, what are we doing? Are we shooting guns? Bowling? Are we playing football? Or what are we doing? We ain't gonna just sit around just to sit around. What's the purpose for it? And if you notice in society, men on teams, men in the military, men who are in some big enterprise or a project, they're working towards some goal. I'm going to build a building. We're going to build the best golf course, the best skyscraper, build a rocket, build a car. We're going to do something, and there's going to be an output. So men need to have a sense of getting something done. We don't do well with just sitting around for sitting around's sake. And I'm a big study of why men don't go to church. Church has become, for many men, somebody's talking to me, somebody's preaching to me about things I'm not doing right. I ain't doing that no more. Some men are at church. They're not. If you're not leading, you're just sitting there. You're spectating, serving. You're soaking things up, and you're asking, "Why am I here? What am I doing?" And if you don't have a sense of purpose in church, you won't go to church. That's why men would rather be on a golf course doing a deal on Sunday than on church. Listen to I don't care how anointed the preacher is. Most men like, what am I doing?
Right.
I know he's doing his thing. The choir director's doing his thing. The deacon board doing their thing. What am I doing? I'm just here sitting. And so we have to have a sense of purpose and accomplishment. So, and the last thing I'll say is that men need to have a sense of community. And you've sought to make a space here where men can connect. And hopefully there's other guys who are listening in that say, okay, I want to be in the men's lounge because there's a place of community, a safe place where I can talk the way I want to talk. I can tell my truth. I can, talk about my issues without being judged. We need a sense of community. So these are things that I'm always focused on with men's ministry and men's dynamics, especially in Black churches, because Black churches are always real good places for Black women, but for Black men, not so much all the time. So I want to change that somehow. But when you talk about a woman observing a man, watch what he is motivated by, watch how he moves, watch what he values. You can observe from a distance and learn a lot of stuff before doing a full interview. That's just my take. Pastor Chris is going crazy over here. He's like, I got 5 messages I want to share.
Yeah, well, we know how Pastor Chris gets down. I want to read some comments, and I'm gonna let him jump in here. This is so good. I know why. In essence, the conversations take on a breath and life of their own. That's why we don't always lock into a particular format. I love free-flowing conversations because you never know what someone needs. And that's the whole point of being here, is that when we tap on, something and it gets exposed that this is what people are looking for or needing to hear, that's where we want to serve, and to feed so that everyone is getting what they need. Pastor Chris gonna be all right. He's okay. I see. I know how far he can go before he pops. Yeah, I know how far. I know where his gauge is. So right. Welcome, Anitra, my kin. Thank you for joining tonight. She was saying, well, to what you were saying, Pastor Chuck. We have been having a good time here. Karen Griffin says, she was talking about Michelle. We ain't gonna go there. We gonna stick to the topic tonight. Hajada says, I really dislike shopping, not all women. I'm with you. I used to be in there, and again, nothing is all, it's some, not all, but we're talking about some of the common habits that we find that end up at the top of the list. I like having things. I just don't always like shopping. It's too much. It's too much peopling,
not that cheap.
too much peopling. So it's just, I'll go, but it's like, all right, I have to really want something. But we with you, Hajada. I mean, we could rock. We could rock. Mind yourself, Pastor Chris. Landon Price says, but men keep that word open and study to make sure it's in line. I think that's true. A lot of men do still study the word. I do find, okay. Then, all right. I'm going to say it. The issue that I had, because I'm trying to, it's my platform, but I'm just trying to be. One of the issues that I find and I hear that comes with church, and again, and I love, this is why some people think I'm a traitor for women. I'm not. I love us, but I love us enough to know that we have to get ourselves together. Church caters to women more than it does men.
Yes.
And that
100%.
should not be. And
100%.
women, we tend to go home, like you said, the man is sitting there in church and it's like, I'm hearing all this, what I'm not doing, and like God only favors the women and this and that. And we have to stop talking to the people who are not in the room. You know, we have to start ministering to the men that are in the room. We have to start making the gospel non-gendered, but soul relatable. And we have to understand that men need to hear a message that women don't, because you are leading. You know, there are things that you encounter as men that you don't even want your women to ever have to know that happens. It's a part of you covering.
Yeah.
And those conversations need to be had outside, I believe. I'm not talking about segregating. I'm talking about giving men space to be men. That's one of the reasons, again, like I did create the men's lounge, was that there's no other, it's just a room full of testosterone. Again, I'm the only estrogen that's there, you know, and I keep the playing floor level. I can hold my own. You know, when they get a little to the left, I'm pulling back right. It's okay. I know you ain't scared. I see you. But the point still is, this is what we do. I don't mind being in that space. And also the respect that's there and that's given, that when I do speak or address or respond to something that's being said, it's received well. But it's received well because they know I'm listening. And women, we have to learn how to listen and how to diffuse when a man is, you know, in his space or in his feelings. And it's okay for him to be in his feelings. You know, don't pay him no mind. You know, we have to be able to diffuse the emotion out of it for us so that we can hear what you're saying. You know, and again, these men's spaces are so important, but the church creates a gospel that pretty much caters to women. So how do you expect your husband to connect with you in the word if all he's hearing when you come to the house is everything that supports you and not them? And then when you get home, we're busy talking about, well, did you hear what Pastor said? And I mean, and it's cool to talk about the word. Just say, did you hear the word? This is what I got out of the word. But when we emphasize the pastor, you got to remember, ladies, you're talking to a man. And all he's hearing is that you are giving credit and glorifying another man. Yep. I don't care unless he's baby Jesus or God himself. I don't believe no man wants to hear. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm saying it because sometimes women need to hear it from another woman, and men need to hear it from a woman to know that there are women who hear you. We do hear you and we understand, you know. So I totally agree with you, you know, there. And women, when we're in those situations, the way we can help reverse that or help kill that narrative is, again, big up your husband. Ask him what he got out of the word today. Did you enjoy the word? Can we, you know, I didn't understand this. Could you show, what do you think about this? Yeah. Don't make it about the pastor. Make it about the word, because that turns men off and you don't want them to be there. I don't know about everybody. I want to sit next to mine in church. If we could, I want to do the word, praise the Lord, you know, sing, clap, whatever it is, you know, right there. I don't want to enjoy God without you, and I don't want you to enjoy God without me. Wow. That increases our connection and our true intimacy. You know, that's intimate, my worship, you know. And so we can't continue to let the feminine push in church blow our heads up to the point where we are demasculating our men at home.
Exactly.
You know, and that's really real, because again, it affects a man's heart. Yep. And that's what you want. You want your man to be healthy at heart.
Yes.
And not be broken.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pastor Scott.
Yeah, it affects his heart and his sense of value in your life. If you could be talking about another man or another lover, same difference. Right. Johnny over there, listen, you're at the workplace and your boss is great, gave you a raise, promotion, and you come on about your boss. He don't want to hear all that. He ain't heard nothing that affirms him. He has heard nothing that shows his value or his worth or his meaningfulness in your life. Once again, we do have a sense of purpose, and we want to be the hero, don't we? We want to be the hero in our story. So oftentimes we are so many so busy talking about other folks and what they're doing. And like, even though you don't mean it that way, sometimes all they hear is what they're not doing. That's all they
Right.
hear, what they're not doing. I'll give you an example, and this is a flip it relationally wise. My wife is an amazing wife. I realized one day I had a boss who's actually a common friend of ours now, a manager of mine who was very affirming. And in a season of my life, workplace, I just got a lot of affirmation from her in a workplace standpoint. I kept coming home mentioning this person's name. Yeah, so-and-so said, so-and-so said. And God got me like, stop mentioning that woman's name at your home. Even though it's a platonic relationship, it's a work relationship, and we're cool as people now. My wife's done speaking for my ex-boss. But I realized if you say her name one more time, it's going to be an issue in your house.
What? Because, baby, I would be at the job bringing you breakfast and lunch. I'm
Right.
sorry.
You
I need to.
you want to investigate what is going on at the job. He's talking about so-and-so so much, right? And so
Uh-huh.
God checked me. And I think my wife and I had a discussion about it, like, woo. And I didn't realize how much I was saying. Oh, she's a great boss. She's great. And she was. But it was, and I was doing extra work overtime to get stuff done that she would have done. Like, now my wife's like, hey, what you doing? Why she got so much pull?
Got this influence, right? This influence.
Same
Got to
way.
watch the influence. Like you do. Listen, talk to me about the work, not the woman. Talk to me about the work.
And you know, in the church space, a lot of women want to be next in line with the pastor or want to be seen by the pastor. And so you bring in extra flowers to decorate his office. You bring in lunch and dinner and snacks and stuff for the pastor while he's doing a study. And why you going to the pastor's house or the parsonage or the church office to serve the pastor, and your man is at home looking for a hot meal? That's crazy.
You gonna bring him Chick-fil-A, but you
And we tell our ushers the same thing. Don't you, as an usher, be helping all the women down the stairs, and your wife has got the baby, the kids, a bassinet, and a bunch of bags, and you take care of your wife first, and then you serve in the church. Don't be acting like the pastor's wife. My wife's a pastor also, so she has a bag and a computer and laptop she brings in, and all the ushers, help her down the stairs, everything. But you better help your wife first. And my wife has said that from the pulpit. Don't be helping me and have your wife looking all crazy out there.
Right? No, that's out of order.
Thank you. It is out of order. So
it's out of order.
Yeah, we are fragile in that way, but it's human nature. If you're the most important person in my life, I want affirmation from you. But if you're always talking about Johnny over there and so-and-so over there and how cute he looks and da-da-da, and obviously there's some great people out there, and we're not saying don't give them a shine, but when I hear it more from you that you're giving more accolades out there, I'm like, what's my value? And you have not helped me understand how much you value me in that situation. So it's a situation.
Listen, don't linger too long. That's what I said. Don't linger too long. Okay, I'm not lingering long. I'm not lingering at all. I'm like I'm focused. Because I don't do drama. I don't like it. I ain't having it. Y'all carry on. Okay, good. Whatever. I'll be that. I'll be right where he is. Yep. Thank you. And yep, because there will be peace. That's what you have to do. And yeah, the culture of the church, it has glorified, unfortunately, the role of the pastor and not the role of God. And because people come into that space picking up the standard that's already set in the house, and a lot of leaders don't want to break that because they gain from it,
Yes.
because it's what fills them up. So it's like you have to humble yourself, and these are things you have to be mindful of. And truthfully, sidebar, because we'll also do a segment called Love, Marriage, and Ministry, which I'm gonna have to get you and Pastor Audrey on, because y'all just got to come share some good stuff. But even on that, we talked about being a leading lady, and a lot of women wanting to wear the pretty shoes and the hat. It's like, baby, let me explain something to you. You getting caught up in the glow of God that's on him when he's preaching. Women don't marry the pastor. They're marrying a person. The pastor's a position, and that's what a lot of women don't understand. Because when he come out the pulpit, he ain't at home, he ain't preaching like that. At home, he's not wearing a robe. At home, you're not. Nope. At home, you're gonna deal with his socks. At home, you're gonna deal with his long bathroom trips. At
Dirty
home, you're
draw.
gonna deal with him burping. At home, you're gonna deal with him, playing ball. At home, you're gonna leave with him leaving the milk out. It ain't so cute no more. So that's why you got to make sure that you know the person, not the position. So
Yes.
mind yourself, because them shoes and that hat come with a lot of disappointment and a lot of responsibility if you don't manage it right.
Yes.
And if it's not for you, don't touch it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to be anointed to walk with these men of God, these sons of Adam. You got to you got to be anointed to walk with them.
Yeah.
I'm
Real
just saying, it's mighty heavy is the cross. I was just okay. I'm coming back now because I felt myself tapping out.
let,
Come
let me,
on, Pastor Chris, share something. Well, go ahead, Pastor Chuck.
let me get this one thing. You just made me think about it. I make this point in my book about marriage is that the anointing you see or the gifting you see in public is a whole different skill set than what you need in private, right? So yeah, you can be a great speaker, orator. You can win people over with great charm and great appeal and great oratory. But at home, you may have all kind of other issues. The dirty socks, dirty drawers. He don't put the He don't do the toothpaste tube right. He don't put the lid down on the toilet. All these different things. You got to make him take the trash out. That's a whole different person. And most people in ministry are trained for ministry to the masses. They're not trained for ministry at home. That's why
Watch your voice. Watch your voice, sir.
That's why you see marriages in ministry break up. The woman is miserable because he's being Superman for the people, but his Clark Kent is horrible. He's Superman out there, got the cape. He's saving the day. He's going to the prisons. He's going to Sister Jane's house, the widow, the orphan. Wonderful. But at home, it's and his kids, at the PKs now. The kids are mad. The wife is upset and angry. She feels like she's unseen. She's behind, and he's gonna get in the pulpit and say stuff like, "Well, I'm married to the ministry. This is my first calling," and she's like, "Oh, H no, I'm about to cuss." Stop. She like, "Oh," so now you have reduced her from a helpmeet who was commensurate with you to a part of your sideshow or your entourage.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't sign for that. And I got a bunch of issues with pastors. And I'm gonna say the last thing about the church space, because most pastors have been trained to get the crowd up emotionally, right? And more women respond emotionally than men do.
Yeah.
So if you have been trained in the pastor circle or the bishop circle or the Methodist or evangelistic or the Pentecostal circle that you're in to get the crowd up so you can get people excited and feeling good and raise an offering, if that's your goal, that ain't ministering to the men. And you've trained yourself to, and because it works, and you take 2 and 3 offerings and get $100 line, and it's all designed to get the band popping, get the praise team going, get people ramped up and feeling good so they give more, and that's the formula for success. You've missed the point of ministry altogether. You left a whole bunch of men in the wake who are like, "What the heck was that?" They ain't coming back. So anyway.
That's good, because again, and it still ties into what we're talking about, the heart of a man. What's behind what makes him be. He's coming out of a need to feel fulfilled in the house of God, and we're not giving him the God that he needs to get fulfilled because we're so busy, like you said, working on the emotionalism of women, and then we as women we feed into it. Yeah. Sadly, because that part of us is satisfied, and then we go home and put insult on top of injury by doting over, the pastor, right? So it's like don't linger long, and we have to make sure that your attention and your first focus is your husband, your mate, the person that you're with. Baby, how are you feeling today? Are you all right? You the greatest thing in my eyes. I don't care what nobody else look like. No, I did not see what anybody else was wearing because I was too busy looking at you with your fine self with what you had on when I saw you leave. And it looked just as good when we got to church, and it looks even better now that church is over, and it's gonna look even greater when we get home and you take it off. I'm just saying. It's almost. I told you something happens at 8:30 over here on this platform. It turns into Lady Dawn B after dark. But that's what we have to do, because I need to make sure your heart is all right. I need to make sure that it's beating just right. I need to make sure I got to do a heart check. You good? If you not, what you need? What do you need for me to do? Because what I've learned is that when you give a man what he needs, you will never have to ask him for anything that you need.
Yeah, he'll give.
He will automatically, again, what's in him towards you will come out. He will want to take care of you. Come on, Pastor Chris. I know you have a lot to say because we've just been going back and forth. So come on and share something with us, sir.
He like, come on, bro. Come on.
Look, this ain't my platform. It's my brother's
not. Okay,
platform.
but take 3 minutes to share something with us.
Well,
take 3 minutes.
You know you can't give me a time limit.
I know, but if I don't say 3 minutes, it would be here till tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'll try to keep it brief. Well, yes. This is the thing when pastors go to the pulpit, right? That is our time to honor the first lady of the house, the co-pastor of the house. This is where we can get our MAC lines in, right? Come on, pastors, let's keep it real. This is where we can honor our woman of God, where we can say all these nice eloquences and all these things so we can tone down the groupies. Yeah, I said it. Tone down the groupies. Because again, you're right. Some, not all, some churches are emotionally driven. Men are not emotionally driven. You got to talk to me like a man. And this is why I don't get liked a lot, because I don't cater to emotion. I just speak the truth. I go to the gut, to the jugular. This is what men need to hear. This is what's going to raise men up. We've been given no power in some, not all, churches. Now, I'm saying this out of respect because I use this thing called churchdom. There's a difference between being the church and then we have the churchdom with the nonsense. So we've been creating this narrative of the men stand back, the women doing all the work. We sitting in the back waiting for the 12 o'clock game to come on because this church service taking too long. Y'all getting too emotional. Y'all going through all this hymn to y'all. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what you got to say. What you got to say to me, Pastor, because I'm not feeling you right now. Right. You got my lady over here jumping and going through all the motions and I can't even get her to do that at home.
See, now you done made Pastor Chuck leave the whole.
Look, y'all got the wrong man on the program.
You killed my brother and my guest. Like, what?
You know I'm gonna bring it. Okay.
So you at least let him make it through. He's the special guest because I need the guest to make it through the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. I'm sorry. I can be a bit much.
I didn't say you was wrong. I didn't say you was wrong, but you would have made Pastor Chuck get up and take flight. Look at me.
All right.
But I'm just saying, this is why we have issues because some, not all pastors, utilize the pulpit to be pimps in the pulpit. Oh my God.
Yep.
We got books out right now about that narrative. We have women that have been used and abused in the church because of this spirit they call it the spirit of Delilah. No, I call it the spirit of nonsense. That's exactly what it is. Because again, you're using the pulpit to mac the ladies. Come on, gentlemen. We know we all have our own kind of mac game. When we was in the streets, we had our own kind of flow, how we talk to the ladies, all that stuff. I'm just being real. But when a real man finds relationship with God, keyword relationship, not religion, because we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear religion. Give me something that's going to make me drive, make me driven. Like Pastor Humphrey said, we need something that's going to drive us. So you telling me I'm hitting licks on the street and I'm getting thousands of dollars in one day, and you telling me to come to this God that you so-called think he's blessed and highly favored, and I can just do 1 or 2 licks and I got 3, 4 G's just like that, and you want me to pass all that up for all this emotionalism? I ain't like that. Yeah. Let me tell you, but this is the example. Most men that come out of that lifestyle, these men are powerful right now. Let me tell you why. Because when they understand that it's not religion that drives them, it's the relationship. men have to be driven by something. Relationship is what we crave in any aspect. Relationship in business, finance, women, whatever it is, we crave relationship. But if there is no drive for that man to continue to stay focused on God relationally, he's going to keep doing the same thing he was doing. Then he's going to sit in the back of the church, still give pastor a couple $1,000s, and they put y'all in the front row because y'all giving thousands of dollars for the tithe offering, so you become VIP members. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend nobody. But I'm just saying. And see, this is why we have seesaw battles in the church. We trying to, I wish she was like pastor. Oh, I wish you do this like pastor. Why don't you say this like pastor? You see pastor, he be honoring his first lady, and you can't even open the door for me. This is real talk coming from the pulpit, ladies and gentlemen. But y'all too busy trying to mac the ladies instead of y'all ruining half their relationships because you're trying to create a narrative that man can't be at. You 50, 60 years old, your narrative is already set. And you got a man that's 25, 30, just making his grind, but just need that mentorship to get where you are. But you're trying to belittle that man because look what I got, lady. And then 2 months from now, they're divorced. And then that same lady in your office trying to give you. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop. Okay. Let me slow down. But I got to be true here.
It's okay.
This is you want to talk about matters of the heart. As pastors, we deal with a lot. And if you're married, it's a lot because you have to honor your first ministry, which is your family, not the church, not the deaconesses, not the apostolesses and all the essences. You honor your wife.
Yeah.
And if we want to take 20, 30 minutes for tithes,
Oh my goodness. Woo!
We should take 30 minutes just to honor our first lady and make it clear that this lady of God is mine. And I don't care how good you look, how attractive you are. I don't care what curves you got. I don't care if you're a mini, a skinny, or a thick thing. I love who I got. And God gave me an anointed woman of God to can hold me down on this pulpit, out the pulpit, and to put up with my nonsense when I come down from my Sunday and I'm all messed up and jacked up and I'm just Chris. I ain't apostle, I ain't bishop, I ain't pastor. I'm just Chris and I'm all jacked up. I'm farting and all this, leaving the seat up, and you mad at me and all this other stuff. Well, it's draining me, boo-boo. But again, if you have a real woman that knows your anointing and knows the cost of the anointing, and you have a man of God that's going to honor your woman of God in spite of all your... Okay, I'm going to stop. All right. Okay, I'm done. Because see, I'm about to take this thing to a whole nother level, and it's after 8:30. It's after dark, so you know I turn it up after 8:30. I'm sorry. I apologize, Pastor Humphreys.
No, you're good.
I apologize, sir. I'm not trying to scare you off this pulpit. I'm sorry.
Fine. You have a grace upon your life that I don't have. That's okay. And I recognize the complementary giftings. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, y'all balance each other out. Yeah, he's not a toxic twin. He's balanced. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the toxic twin spot is already taken. Pastor Humphrey, Pastor Chuck brings the balance. Okay. Yeah. He brings the grace back.
Well, here's what I want to say. I was going to say this earlier. Just watching your energy, my brother. We're two different people, but we're both men, right? And so women have to recognize. And I think you mentioned that you're that outgoing guy, that guy can be there, hit you in the face. I've never been that guy. If I tried to be that guy, it wouldn't be authentically me, right? But women need to understand you still have a man with certain needs, regardless of the outside exterior or the presentation. Then I may express my need differently than he does, but it's still the same need. And it's still strong inside of us, to be respected, to be valued. And so when you hear a woman say, I don't need a man, I'm like, well, there you go. We're done. There's nothing to say. Bye-bye. Exactly. So, but when a woman, and I'm going to say this, I had this interaction with somebody, I forget what it was, but I noticed that for me, and I'll give you an example. When a woman expresses a need and you can be the guy who saves the day, that triggers something in us, that superhero in us, that desire to be the savior, as it were, and not to be a savior spiritually, but to fix it, to repair it, to solve the problem. There's something that is activated in us to large degree or small degree that we want to fix it or make it right. And that's how men operate. So when women are talking and venting about their day, and she says, "Oh, I drove here, I drove there, and the tire was bumpy, and and this happened," and he like, "How can I fix it?" That's his mindset. He wants to fix and repair and save you from that disaster or that situation, so you can go on to something else. And women want to vent. We understand that. But oftentimes, with women, when they come with all this strength, all this bravado, all this ability, and all this swagger, it's like, why you need me then? Why you need me? What am I good for? And not that you're not good for anything, but if she's always expressing, "I have no needs," then we don't feel needed. So it could be taking out the trash, fixing a flat tire. It could be, "Can you reach out on the top shelf?" We want to feel like we have value in your life, and praise God, you can make the money, wonderful. You can be an entrepreneur, all these different things, but we still need to be needed. So when women don't understand the value of a man, I'll say this, all the stats, and you'll co-sign, I'm sure, Pastor Chris, all the statistics show when a male is absent from the household, everybody does worse. The kids do worse. The wife does worse. Academic standing goes down. Women, young ladies are more prone to get pregnant at early age. And so I say this, male presence matters. And for the guy out there, I'm talking to the guys out there who feel like they don't matter. You do matter. Your presence matters. If you're not popping and balling and shot calling, you still matter because you're a male. You are in the imago Dei. You are made in the image of God, and you matter because God has placed you specifically in the household, in the community, in the life of women and families for purpose. You may not have all the money you want right now. You may not be balling, shot calling. You may not have the job you want right now. You may be in between jobs. You may be getting over a divorce, but your presence matters. So I tell men all the time, even if you're not at the height of your game, your presence still matters. Even if you feel like you're coming behind, you're losing, your presence still matters. And I think guys will understand there's a grace upon our lives. And as you said earlier, you said when men speak, you see the situation, the woman's trying to get the kids to clean up the house and clean the room up and mind themselves and quit throwing stuff around. When the guy comes in, "Hey, y'all, what's going on here?" Kids be like, "Nothing." And then something happens. And women have been mad at men. "How come I've been fussing at them all day long and they won't mind? They haven't done their chores. They haven't done anything." And you come in and they just get, I'm looking the way you look. I'm like, you need to acknowledge what God has designed a man to be and to do. Sometimes is an intangible thing. It's not measured in dollars and cents. It's not measured in a C-suite job. It's not measured in social media, millions of followers. It's measured in how the kids and the family and the community responds. It just is. I can't explain it. I just know God has said it that way. So male presence matters.
It's like a lion in the jungle, Pastor. When the lion roars, everybody stops. I just want to add that to it. I'm done.
No, you both have said, a whole mouthful and a very necessary mouthful. And I hope that we are liking, subscribing, sharing, and you save this replay because there's no way you could pick up all the nuggets that were dropped and that have been in one shot. And this is what I love about doing what I do and in these spaces, because these are conversations, again, that need to happen with real points, real talk, everyday people, so that we can really understand each other, not trying to be like the next person. But when you hear the heart of a man, sometimes women, we have to learn, and I said this in one of our ladies' room sessions, one of the points that I made at the end is we got to learn how to be quiet. And I was like, don't even be quiet. We got to just learn how to shut up. Sometimes, like we just do. We just do. Period. Just be quiet. Sometimes I tell my own self, just be quiet. Just like calm down. My favorite scripture, be anxious for nothing, but in all things through prayer, supplication. Sometimes I just gotta get to the be anxious for nothing. Like, don't be anxious to say this. Don't be Don't let your emotions, okay, sir. Don't let your emotions lead you all the time. Stop, breathe, and listen. And it's something that we have to do. But because women, we are emotionally driven, or not emotionally driven. I would say we're emotionally triggered, because the minute men start speaking and saying things that the minute you are making a point in your sentence and we hear something that we do not like to hear, we don't even let you finish what you're saying. It could just be a part of your point. We never get and you could have been trying to loop it back around, but we don't let you finish to get back to A, because we heard something between A and B that already we don't want to hear no more. No, sis, you got to learn how to hear the hard truths. You got to learn how to sit down and hear out. I had to learn how to sit and listen through things that I didn't want to hear. And what I've learned is that, especially with the men in your life, when you're with the right man in your life, when he's saying something to you, it really isn't to harm you, although it may hurt you in that moment. It's really, he cares. He's not exposing you out in the world. He's saying something to you in a private space between you and him, so that he can cover you. But I'm pointing this out to you because I don't want you walking around looking half crazy, and I don't want you walking around being like this. And I'm saying it to you because even if what I say hurts you, I know how to help heal that. Women, we have to be able to listen and hear our men out. I want to read some comments. And it was something else I was going to add maybe after y'all, because y'all just had me in a whole nother space. I know it was. I just want to say, and I get it for the women and men, and this is just for some balance too. There's nothing wrong with us being independent women. There's nothing wrong with us being hardworking and degreed up and having all of that. There's nothing wrong with us having accomplishments. My plate is usually full and overflowing. But I will tell you, and sometimes we're in those spaces because we have had no other choice. A lot of us have been conditioned through our singleness to we are all that we have. There is no man to fall back on. So men, you also have to give grace to those women in those spaces. Don't look at it as a deficit. Look at why she's that way.
For sure.
Yep. Because it's not easy for us to be soft in spaces where we've had no other choice but to be hard, because otherwise we would not survive.
Right. Yep.
I can't play soft like a girl in a man's world. I can't, if I'm leading, I can't come to the board table with my emotions. No, I'm going to come in there with my head held up and my heels clicking the floor, put my stuff down with my two-piece suit on just the same. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you? Yes. And you have to come in with that presence, but you also have to know how to turn that off and bring it down when a man comes into your life. You have to know how to, in one of the books that I wrote in with Harlem Girls, called Boss Built, one of the chapters was talking about code switching. Mm-hmm. We have to know how to use that skill at home. And code switching, for those who don't know, is simply like when I'm with my girls, I'm like, hey girl, what's up? How you doing? Whatever. All right, that's what's popping. I'll check you later. No problem. But when I go to work and I'm in the office, it's good evening. How are you? It's good to see you. How'd that project work out? You have to learn how to speak the language to the audience that you're with and still be authentically you in both spaces. You got to learn how to code switch when you go home. Because no man wants that testosterone in a female body. There's only one man in the house. Be what God made you. Be the woman. So I am not of the. I've been there. I've been there for a short season of the. I don't need a man. No, I don't need one because I come fully equipped. However,
listen,
this is tired. Like, I'm tired. We got tired because we were put in spaces that we did not, it wasn't meant for me to be in. You know what I'm saying? Listen, okay, that's why I said, listen, I'm a shoulder girl. Sir, give me some shoulders, bruh. Listen, because these are tired, because you're holding stuff, you're carrying things that you were not made to carry. And women, we have to get to a point where we stop. We got to know when to unload. And the thing is, you do have to, part of my tendency was, I don't want to unload what is on my shoulders in a space that I don't know that you have the capacity to handle the weight of what I'm going to give you, because then it's harder for me to pick it back up once I put it down. So I'd rather keep holding on to the weight that I'm accustomed to, and it's a transition. So I'm saying this for both sides. But we have to stop subscribing to I don't need a man. I don't need a man because I'm self-sufficient. It's not about need. Is that but sir, listen, you could have your job back. You could take your position back. I don't even want it. Please, sir. Okay. We don't have to operate like that, ladies. We have to get to spaces where we are willing to let men do their job. And you have to try and trust somewhere. And it starts by choosing better, making better choices, taking your time, being patient in the work, in getting the work done. So I just want to read a few comments. But yeah, I'm not of that. I don't need a man, go a woman. No, I don't want to see you. I love y'all sisters, but I'm like, no, I want my phone to ring and go home. I gotta go. We can just go shopping. We can go. All right, but when shopping is over, no, I'm going home. I don't want to see y'all no more. I don't want to go on no girls trips no more. I'll see you. I want to spend a weekend with you 6 times a year. Nope, I won't do that. God didn't purpose that. I don't think that's my portion. Karen Griffin says, this is so good. You got to know your portion. Tap your neighbor and tell them, know your portion. All right. Eat off the right plate, people. Eat off the right plate. Let's see. We have Pat Shay Felton in the house. She is one of the co-founders of Harlem Girls Forever Inc., which is my amazing writing group. Harlem Girls, we do it right. Okay. All right. And she is also the co-lead moderator and curator of Monday Night right here, Monday Night Beyond the Mic. Her and Dr. Elaine have their show at 7 p.m. So y'all make sure y'all tune into them. Hey, Pat Shay. I'm so glad you popped on. I want to get to some comments, and then I want to make sure that we give space for Pastor Humphrey. This is so good. We just don't have enough time, and I just want to bring it back because I'll be on here till midnight. I promise you I will, because it's good for my soul. But we gonna be respectful because I want Pastor Lady Audrey to let you come back. I want her to I love you, Pastor Lady Pastor. I do. I love. I told your husband I love your vibe. It's like I dig it. I dig it. I gotta have y'all on. T. Brian says, come on in here, somebody. This late night edition is all right with me. I told you at 8:30 it turns into Lady Dawn B after dark. Something happens. It didn't always start out that way, but it seems to shift. I don't know. T. Brian, my bestie, also says, "Oh Lord, Pastor Chuck, blink twice if you're okay."
I am good.
He said he's good. He's good, T. He's good. She's a doctor, so she was gonna come see about you. She was coming. Pat Shay says some men have to learn to undo what they have learned from their environment. That's true.
Sure.
And we have to give them grace to do that. Be patient, ladies, especially if you see him trying to turn the corner, because it is not easy to unlearn and then figure out what you need to put in its place. Pashe says the scripture for that is be still and know. The still is referring to being quiet. When I was saying, ladies, we got to be quiet. Just learn to shut all the way up. And, just sometimes I'm just making it plain. I love you, ladies. I do. And I'm saying it to myself. Pastor Chris said, Pashe is the anointing that's still attractive when he's 5 feet and not so attractive. You know what? The anointing, God beautifies the meek with salvation. He beautifies. So yes, he is still attractive. The 5 feet and not so attractive. That's what, it's a mess over here. Landon Price says, and it's our job to protect our women's image. Pastor say it, big her up, big her up. Yes, that's right. Big her up, big her up. Listen, you better shout her out. Let these women know, and let them know who's going to come check for you when you come check for mine. Ma'am, I'm not playing with the likes of you. Okay. Right. There's no more prayer. Okay. You don't need that much prayer. You need prayer. Come let me pray for you, sis. I ain't got no oil, but I'm gonna lay hands and pray. Help us, God. Help us, Lord. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to watch as well as pray. You got to fight as well as pray, as worship. You got to do it all. As Shay says, the psalmist, when she doesn't know what she is attracted to, absolutely yes. Good point. My bestie says, not your portion, not your ministry. Talking about that whole, I don't need him. No, that's not my portion. That's not. No. And even if I don't need you, I sure do want you. There's a place for you here. Yes, there is. You got to make room. I was going to start singing. I will make room for you. Tonight's not church. You know what I'm saying? You see how you put Jesus on it? You see? Come on, sisters. We're going to start a choir. I will make room for you. Come on. I bet y'all going to sing that to your man and watch. Watch what happens.
That's a good song.
You gotta learn. You gotta know how to work the word. You know, listen. I gotta use what's in my bag. I gotta use what. That's all I got. Okay. I told you I'm a God's girl. You gonna get a little Jesus everywhere you go. I'm just saying you got to learn how to use your tools, ladies. It's after 8:30, so you know it goes a little left. And my best friend is hollering. She knows how I am. I'm a behave. Well, maybe not because it's a little too late now. But we're here, so you know. Anyway, yeah. And then Alicia, welcome, Alicia, sis. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad you came, Lady Dawn. You are showing your eldership. Oh, thank you, ma'am. I've been trying to, you know, walk in my eldership. You know, it's what, like a week old. I'm trying to keep it together. Try to keep it together. Thank you for being here. Walking worthy. I'm working the word because I heard the word works. Word will get you what you need. Ladies, I'm gonna have to teach that class at 10 o'clock. The 10 p.m. That's got to be a 10 p.m. class, you know, work the word. T says it's on tonight. Yes, it is. It's on every Thursday night. Y'all know it just hits a certain time and we just keep it. It gets more real. Gets more real and more real. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been amazing. I don't want it to end, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We definitely have to have a part 2 and have Pastor Chuck come back. Yeah, he's in California, so he's with 3 hours behind us. So it's still early.
Yeah, it's still early.
You know, but it is so amazing, and I do want, you know, and we're going to connect, and I want to get you and your wife on, Pastor Audrey, to come and share on the Love Marriage Ministry segment, because what I love about the people who God has connected me and caused us to have this dynamic connection is the realness, the transparency, and it's integral and authentic. And that's what people need. People need to see that it's not just what you see on Sunday morning when we're walking in and we got our matching suits on and, you know, and I'm preach baby with my laps cloth and, you know, all that. Meanwhile, you know, all that. Yeah, it looks pretty and it looks cute, but you got to understand, I had to get through Monday to Saturday with him. He had to get through Monday to Saturday with me, so that we can walk in here today. And people need to know what the work really looks like, so we are not fooled. So that when we do get into relationships and marriages, we already have an understanding that what you're going through is normal. Wait out the process. Don't quit. Don't be fooled because you see us looking good. You know, don't get it. It's a price that comes with this, you know, and women, we have to become more aware and more sensitive and more supportive. But we can only do that when we understand really what our men need, what is in their heart, what really makes it beat. Their hearts have been through so much in their lives already. Some have grown up in homes where their mother never told them that they were loved, or that they were special, or that they were important, or that they were gifted, because the mother, and I say wounded women wound other women, you know. Yeah, we passed that along, you know, because you look like your daddy and that was my mistake, but I'm making you pay for it for the rest of your life. So because he left me, I'm causing you to pay the price, you know, and not helping you develop, not speaking life into you. Sometimes, you know, we have to check ourselves. We're dealing with men. You're marrying a man who has some scars, who has some deficits. One thing I realize is that no man comes without baggage.
Listen.
No man comes without an issue. No man is in a perfect position. I don't care how much money he makes. I don't care how much stuff he has. I don't care how much he tells you, whatever. He has something that he's still missing and needing and working on.
Yes,
Perfection is not in a person. It is only in God. So we have to take the time to make sure that we are jointly knitting ourselves with men whom we understand what is behind making your heart beat, so that I can help you get there, so it would be stronger and grow and help you get to where you need to be, heal past wounds so that you can be better and then some. So with that, I want to leave space for well, Pastor Chris just walked away. Okay, because I want the words to come from okay, he done gave us a promotion. Okay. And now see he walking right back. Yes, go. I love it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for returning. I appreciate you. He's so kind. Just love you.
Thank you.
So I want to this is the tomfoolery that goes on. So you can imagine what it's like when the men's lounge. You just met, and then we do a segment called Versus, where it's the ladies' room versus the men of the men's lounge, where we all come on together. It is the most chaotic.
Bananas.
yeah. It's a whole lot of tomfoolery that goes on, and when the whole crew is here, it's ridiculous. But I want to thank you so much for coming on, for sharing, for enlightening us, for encouraging us, for keeping it real with us in this space. And so I want to give Pastor Chris, if you take 2 minutes to have final comments, and then I want to let Pastor Humphrey come and share his final comments. Tell us a little bit about your books, because he's an author, y'all. Yes, he is. You know, we connected through our last writing project, which was amazing. It still is amazing. Courage to Win. We are here because we're winners. It's what it's in the winner's circle looks like. Okay. And I want him to share how we can get in touch and about his books. He has an amazing book called The 4 C's of Marriage. I downloaded it myself. I've started reading it. I sure did, sir. I wasn't playing with you. I was going to find it. I said, let me find out these 4 C's, because, you know, as a divorcee, I want to get it right next time. Let me get some knowledge that I didn't get before. You know, I'm like, I got you. I will gift it to you. I got you, sir. Don't worry about it. So come on, Pastor Chris, take 2 minutes and share your final comments. And then I want to turn to Pastor Humphrey. Yes, put your timer on. No Shondo. No Shondo.
Yeah, I know we're running out of time, but of course I want to honor the man of God, Pastor Humphreys, for coming on. And again, I hope I did not run you off. And pray that you come back again. But with all seriousness, man of God, thank you so much. You definitely balance out the energy. You're saying the same message, but you know how to articulate it in a way where I'm bringing the funk and you bringing the noise. Well, okay, let me say it. Let me say it for the younger folks. You know, you bringing the heat, or you bringing the smoke. Yeah, and you're bringing the rain. So you definitely know how to balance out, and we bounce off each other. But that's how it is. When you got 2 pastors in the room, it's a mess. Just saying, it's just going to be a mess, and it's the Holy Spirit that connects us. And I'm just honored to meet you virtually, and I'm quite sure we'll have a lot more interactions, because again, I do have a platform as well, but I won't do that here because out of respect to Mama Sheila.
Please share your network, so that you know how we do here. We are one family with many branches. So
yeah. Well, I have a show entitled The Exclusive Interview on the Couch. Basically, it is a show to highlight and spotlight pastors, authors, artists, things of that nature. But the show has a twist because it's late night. It's 8 o'clock my time, Central, but it'll be changed soon. But anyway, it's 8 o'clock Central, so it's prime time. So again, a pastor can come on the couch and be them. You don't have to be pastor. You can be Charles. You don't have to come with the clergy shirt, or you can just come. You can just come relax in the relaxed PJs, because you want
decollared. You can be decollared.
Yeah, you can be decollared. You know, you're not governed to be in the Greek or Hebrew or lexicon verbiage. You can come and on the couch. So we do it every Friday at 8 at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And of course, I will extend my invitation to you because I know it will be a phenomenal show having you on because we already flow with this space. So we'll do that way after the show. So, but anywho, that was way more than 2 minutes. Okay.
It was.
But anyway, family, I just wanted to say that a heart of a man beats many beats. When a man dies, we want to know that we've accomplished something.
Yes.
We made you proud. I can look into your eyes and take my final breath knowing that I did all I could to seal your heart, to protect it forever. Now, I know I can't keep you from not meeting someone else, but our whole objective is to make sure that our heart beats healthy to the point that it doesn't beat anymore, but we capture your heartbeat, not only in what we can provide for you, but what we can give you mentally and spiritually and keep you balanced in an unbalanced world full with a lot of illusion, smoke and mirrors, and even in churchdom. I didn't say church. Even in churchdom, we give this false illusion that this is how a man's supposed to be. But again, you will understand in our process as a man and your process as a woman, that's what brings you the man that is called for you to be like this and have a 30-year marriage like my brother, Pastor Charles Humphreys Jr. So I yield the mic. Thank you so very much for having me as always. And again, let's go, Sheila Bravo Nation. This your boy, the Silent Voice. I'm done. I'm out.
Oh Lord! Now we got a trip. Now you done infected the brother pastor here. Now I just anyway, yeah, you family.
Trying to flow with this East Coast thing, y'all.
You in there? You doing all right? You in the pocket? See, I knew we was here. We knew from day one. But thank you for that, Pastor Chris. That was it was amazing. That was beautiful. No, your comments really were beautiful, heartfelt, and well spoken. And we hear every word. And thank you for sharing strong words from a soft place. His energy is always on 10,000. That's why I call him the encounter and the experience, because you get both. Sometimes you can only handle one, but you get both with him at some point. So thank you so much. And yes, please make sure, guys, that you do tune into Pastor Chris's platform as well. He has an amazing show that goes on. I was on there a couple of weeks ago. He's been bringing dynamic people on. I believe Dr. Indy Brown is going to be on. She's a part of our ladies' room. Dr. Indy, y'all don't play like you don't. She'll be on with him on the 28th, I believe. So make sure that you go like, subscribe, and share his channel, and make sure that we support him. He is Bravo Nation family, so we support our own and others. So now I want to leave space to Pastor Chuck. Again, I want to thank you so very much. I thank God for the connection. I thank God for the great things that he's going to do. This is the first. It's the birthing of many of what is about to happen. I am so glad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am so glad to be connected to you. I cannot wait to meet Lady Pastor Audrey and have you two come and share. There's no way you can be the amazing part of dynamic that you are without having her as an equally balanced part of dynamic. And I think I said to you before, I've never met her, haven't had the chance to encounter as you and I have, but from what I've seen as you share, what I love is the way you balance each other. You can tell it's not just love, it is not infatuation, but there is a real, authentic, honest, pure, rich friendship at the heart. You have what a lot of couples don't have. And that's just what I see just from the way you share her, the way you support, and vice versa. The times that I've tuned into any clips that you shared of her or you or the both of you together, it is always something rich. And you two are such a beautifully connected, intertwined group. Listen, I have to give credit where credit is due, and I have to speak what God puts in my heart, because truthfully, couples such as yourself and ministry such as yourself do not get acknowledged, do not get encouraged, do not get supported and spoken to outside of what you do. People
Right.
forget who you are.
Yeah.
You know, they overlook that because we get caught up in what you do and forgetting that there are real people. So thank you for representing, number one, marriage well, and second, for representing kingdom marriage well, and showing what jointly fit really looks like.
Amen.
You know, and as you're still growing, because you evolve every day. But I love every bit of it. It is encouraging and inspiring to me. So I thank you, you know, and I thank God for that connection. Outside of that, you're an amazing author. I know because, you know, we share space in a book, and I got your book, you know.
Thank you.
So I want you to share, and you do so many other amazing things. So I want you to have your final words. I would like for you to share about your books, about your ministries, specifically. Make sure to touch on what you do with the men, so that men know that you are a resource, because this goes all around,
Yes.
and how people can get in touch with you.
Okay, well, wow. Thank you for all that, Pastor Chris, Lady Dawn. I've been really, my heart is full. I'm really blessed just to be in this space, and whatever trepidation I had about these East Coast folks, I'm like, now it's doubled up, because I'm like, y'all crazy, crazy. But I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Well, you're kind of crazy.
No, but it helps me come out to two things. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you for reaching out and being led by God's Spirit to call me. And I'm totally honored to be in this space. I'm in a season in my life where I really want to do what matters. I'm past playing church games. That's
Come on,
over.
sir.
And we ain't got time. You know, the night is far spent.
Come on, preacher.
It's time to make it happen. So I happen to be in an age where I should be giving back and pouring back in, and I want to do that with men, with my wife, my family, the whole bit. But by and large, thank you for the words about my wife, and thank you for Pastor Andrea. She has been a person that we came together through college, through a Bible study on campus at Cal State Northridge. Been together all these years, as they say, and there's been evolution. Still learning things about myself, learning things about her. We're like in a stage where the kids are almost gone, not quite gone. So from a natural standpoint, but we've been doing ministry for 20 plus years with the college Bible study and the church in Northridge area. And it's been quite a ride, and I've learned so much. I'll say this, gosh, you said so many things make me want to cry a little bit. Like,
it's all right, cry. We here, safe space.
Safe space. To acknowledge the authenticity that we want to bring forth. We hope it translates beyond the screen, beyond the internet, beyond the pulpit on church on Sunday. We always say, what you see is what we get. We're not different people at home. We are the same people. We're givers, we're lovers, we're servants first. I have never wanted a title as a pastor. We would not individually be pastoring if not for each other and with the call God has on our lives. So all the guys that we see on TV marketing themselves, self-promotion, that is not us. But I do believe we have something to say to this generation. I believe God wants people who are authentic and real, relatable in this space and time, because there's so much fake and so many scandals and so much drama we see, which is not the kingdom. And thank you for saying the God's, whatever you said, churchdom, kingdom, all the different things, we just can't do religion. People they're not here for it no more. They're not here for it. So I'm honored to be in this space to share a word. You've framed this as a men's heart issues. And I was like, okay, what are men's heart issues? Heart health, high blood pressure. And those are true. And there is a connection with men's dissatisfaction, men's lack of fulfillment, with the anxiety, the fear, the dread, the nervousness, the apprehension that leads to those chronic diseases. I believe that if we find purpose and we find God, we can allay all those different things. We'll find God. So my heart's desire for men, and here's the deal. If you get men right, you'll get the family right.
Come on.
If you get men right, you'll get the community right. If you get men right, you'll get the nation right. If you get men right. But that's the foundation. So I praise God. Our women are winning more and more than ever before. But if women win at the expense of men, we all lose. And
Come on.
if men win at the expense of women, we all lose. So that's why I can't stomach these conversations. I don't need a man. All men are dogs. Women, she's just a gold digger. She just wants my money. That's garbage. And we have got to be louder than those on the fringes and extremes saying the worst parts of us are prevailing in society. All men are not dogs. There are men who love God, who want to build family. Some might need a little bit of push. Some need a godly, divine, interaction. But either way, there's people out there, male and female, who want to do the right thing. I want to accentuate that, promote that as much as possible. With my book, The 4 Seeds of a Brilliant Marriage, which I'm going to show you right now, right here.
Come on.
My intention is that couples recognize that you're both created in the image of God. You're both designed to be brilliant. Why not multiply that brilliance together, as opposed to killing each other, fighting, cussing, and fussing, and putting each other down, or blaming each other for your situation in life? No, let's join forces together as God had designed and do something greater together than we could do individually. That's just me, okay? I believe that's God's plan, So that's my heart's desire for marriage relationships. I believe my wife and I embody that to a degree. There's still so much more to grow into. She pushes me, not on purpose, but just her level of excellence, her level of heart for people makes me like, okay, why am I not doing that? I need to step my game up. So it's not a competition, but it is a catalyst, okay?
Yeah.
So your wife should not be competition. She should be a catalyst for you to do greater things, man. I also wrote a book called Hold On to Your Raft, which is my book for men, that men should be responsible, accountable, faithful, and transparent. And as Pastor Chris says, we want to be in those spaces where we can be ourselves and be real, bring real issues to bear, bring real challenges, and let us work those things out in faith and in grace and in a safe place. So oftentimes we get shut down, and once we get shut down, we shut it all the way down.
Yeah, sure do.
And you
Ain't
gonna
no opening that back up.
I would not complain. I would not ask you for nothing. So we need to do that. One of the men's groups we did pre-pandemic was called Men's Vision to Life. So say Pastor Chris has a vision to start a TV network. As opposed to saying, "Dog, you can't do that, man. What you thinking? That's crazy." Listen, how can we help you make that happen? How can we bring your vision to life where it is changing lives and impacting people? And I'm at the place in my life, I got the 2 cars, I got the house, 2-story house, got the 2 daughters, got the degree, got the good job. What was my purpose? With all those things, what's my purpose? I got the wife, got the picket fence, but what is it that God wants me to do? So I asked him this question, and I'll close with this. When you stand at the precipice of life and death and peer over into the hereafter, can you say that you did everything in this life that you're supposed to do? Is there some unfinished business? Are there some things that are still left on the table that you didn't address because you were afraid of it, or because it was overwhelming at the time, or because you didn't have the resources? What is it that you wanted to do that maybe your parents said you couldn't do, or your wife said you couldn't do, or your peer group said you couldn't do, but you still had that thing inside your heart that says, I got to do this thing. And I want men to not just say, one day I'll do it, but okay, let's put our feet to action right now, get some people around us who can encourage us and make it happen. So I'm trying to do that right now. In my last years of life, how long God has me on earth, I need to write a couple more books. I want to leave a legacy. Dr. Miles Monroe was famous for saying, so many dreams are stuck in the grave. Yeah. So many visions, so many great destinies are stuck in the grave because people never stepped out and did it in faith. So I don't want to be that cat. So I got things to do. So I'm gonna agree with your prophetic word that you said. This is the start of some bigger things for me. I don't know how, don't know when, who's going to be the person, but I thank you for this opportunity to share my message and my heart and my ministry with all y'all. And thank y'all for being a catalyst for me in this space.
Amen. Amen. Absolutely. And how can they get in touch with you, Pastor Chuck?
Yeah, I have a website called charleshumphreyjr.com. So you can find my books there. You can find some of the things I'm doing ministry there. It's my whole name, charleshumphreyjr.com. And also our church is called Hope's House Christian Ministry. So it's HOPESHOUSC.com. And I'm on Instagram at PChuck, PCHUCK 2012. So Instagram, Facebook, Charles Humphrey. But the easiest way to catch me is, in fact, go to my website, charleshumphreyjr.com. I talk about some of the intersections of life, being a sandwich generation, taking care of older parents, taking care of young kids. I got a wife who's on fire, who's going to serve God and do all the things that you do 10 times over. So keeping up with her and making sure she's doing her thing. She's going to be speaking around the world later this year in Africa and Peru and some other places. And I can't keep up. So she's doing it. Her heart is for touching the world with Jesus Christ, but also leadership and these types of things. So she's an amazing wife. And she has a book called More Than Just His Wife, and that she is more than just my wife. Trust me. She's all the things.
Lord Jesus, I feel a worship in my soul.
Yeah, but she's fantastic. And we have both, I think, allowed each other to move in different spaces, not because we told each other, but because just how we operate in God. We're going to serve God, but how do we serve God best? And so that's what we're looking for now. How do we serve God best in these years we have? So amen for that. I'm done.
I love it. I love it all. I thank you so much. What I've learned for me in this space is just learning to be obedient to the leading, of God. Because there are so many voices such as yourself who go unheard.
Yep.
Because, for so many reasons. That's a whole nother show. Yep. But I'm grateful for the space and the platform that he gave me to open up the door for the unheard to be heard, and I look forward to having you and Lady Humphrey on. I don't know how we're going to do. We're going to work it out. Whatever date y'all are available, we're going to have a special edition just for y'all because, the books that you've written and that you're sharing, both of you, equally are so important. It's information that needs to get out. I always say, I don't worry about numbers. People are worried about, how many and this and that. I said, Jesus took 12 and overtook the world. I will always say it. He took 12. Why do you think you're supposed to start out with 5,000 if he started with 12? If God gave you 5,000, you couldn't handle it. Start working on to handle the 12. Take the 2 he gave you and grow that, And I say that to say, as long as we're getting the right information out to the right people that can make the right changes, change in a person's life, change brings change.
Yep.
So when you see someone else doing something in a program or working out in the gym and you see their consistency and you start seeing the changes in their body and in their attitude, then that encourages you to say, hey, they're not just talking about it, they're doing it. And they're not just doing it, but there's results and they're maintaining it. And it encourages you to now figure out what's my program? What do I have to get into? I see it done so I can emulate it. And that's why, to me, these conversations are so important. I'm called to who I'm called to. I'm not called to everybody. I'm called to the nations, but it doesn't mean that all the nations are coming straight through me. I'm called to who I'm called to, and then they are called to who they're called to. So that's how we spread it, and we become nationwide as God, has assigned us. Yep. So I take my 12. I'm good. I'm like, let me keep doing what we're doing. So, but I thank you for coming and lending your voice to this space, for sharing and dropping these gems for people to pick up. So guys, please make sure that you are tuning in and go find Pastor Chuck, his website. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, support. I promise you will be blessed. I promise it will be good for you. I want to thank you so much for lending yourself again to this space tonight. It is the beginning of something great, and you will be back here again. I'm telling you, and Lady Humphrey will be right there. We're going to have to make it happen. So I hope you guys enjoy this conversation about what's behind your heartbeat, helping our men be healthy in heart, not just physically, but in that emotional space and in every other space that they need to be in. Pastor Chuck said, find out what he's hungry for.
Yes.
And then that will help you to feed what is in him so that he can have a healthy heart and be all that he needs to be, which will be better for him and be better for you. So last week we talked about how you're feeling and a man's emotions. Tonight we talked about what's behind your beat, men's heart health. Join us next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going down because the men of the Men's Lounge will be here. Testosterone will be in the building. Okay. So ladies, lean in. You know how we do. We coming to listen, and they are going to be talking about the song "To Be a Man" by Dax. If you don't get a chance, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, I encourage you to go download it, listen to it, YouTube it, something, listen to the words, because that is what they're going to be talking about. Okay, so we want to hear from them in this month of June. It is all about them. I want to say happy Father's Day to every single man. I hope you get more. We ain't going to listen. I told them last week, don't just do the usual tie and socks and the new spatula for the grill. Listen, turn your home into a spa and treat that man right. Give him his first pedicure. Give him his first shoulder massage. You know, I don't know whatever you do is what you do. I'm not, I know it's after dark, but I'm just saying. However you need to make him feel special and important, make sure that you do. Men, we want you to know that we love you, we value you, and we hear you. Please keep speaking. Why? Because when men speak, something happens. So salute to everyone. Please join us again. Like, subscribe, and share. Bless you, Pastor Chuck. Bless you, Pastor Chris. All the men of the Men's Lounge. I want y'all to hang out for a minute as we close out the show. Guys, go do what the song is saying. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. We thank you. I love you. I'm your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, and I appreciate you being here. Have a great, great night. Like what? Oh, hey, Von Eric in the building. Landon said, glad to hear Elder May speak on that topic. Women have misunderstood a lot of men because not in church. Period. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure you go like, subscribe, and share. Follow Pastor Chuck. He is in the building. I thank you all. We wish you a great and amazing night on tonight.